Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Running from the pain in my heart. Into the arms of another, and for a while she made me feel alright. But in a crazy blunder, your love took me back under. Now I'm tied to those shackles and chains. Said don't cry for me, stars. I love you and I want you, and you'll always draw me near. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. It took me to unwind, and now I'm right back from where it began. How old will I be when you finally set me free, and the sun shines on my heart again? Said don't cry for me, sweet Annalie. You know running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hey everybody, we up. We live. What's going on? Say hello to Coach.
What do you hear? What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, Radar, how the hell are you, buddy?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. I can't complain whatsoever. We had a great Super Bowl show, King and I, and going to be heading to New York later on this week, but doing pretty damn good, man. How
That's
about
awesome.
yourself?
That's good, man. I was on the opposite end. I watched it while I was at work. You know, I got that cool ass bookie job, and yeah, so I get to sit there and took a lot of wagers for the Super Bowl this year, and a lot of people were wrong.
What, on the over, on the under, or on who was going to win?
You know, on all three. On all three.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so remember the first drive? And there was a very, very questionable pass interference play.
Yeah,
It was a pretty that was
a
a very questionable pass interference play.
It was.
When after that happened, I had like 10 people come up, and I probably took about $4,000 in wagers on the Chiefs live after that play.
Oh my God!
Mhm.
Wow.
People just stood up and came up to me and were like, yeah, I need to put another couple hundred on the Chiefs or this, that, and the other. Had one guy put in 1,000. Yeah, I took probably $2,500 to $3,000 in wagers just in that couple minutes.
Wow.
So
and they were that confident.
well, I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I forgot. Everybody thought it was rigged. So
yeah, well, I mean, because come on, like there has been some questionable plays that follow the Chiefs around all year.
Yeah,
all year. And so, you know, there's enough of those rumors going around that it's rigged. And then as soon as there's because that was a real shit call. But that was the only one they got all night, at least on my opinion. I didn't, there was a couple of the ones later that were like, that was holding.
I mean, later after Philly put the game away, there was a couple that could have been called. But then at the same time, too, there should have been a rough in the passer or a freaking face mask penalty by old boy, the freaking D tackle, number 93.
Mm-hmm.
He pushed Mahomes down like he was his prison bitch.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But nothing was called there. And then the turnover actually happened on that play, and nothing was called. So
now,
you know what? All fair.
Yep. No, I will say this. I feel like you either got to call everything or nothing. And if you do it both ends of it, then I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? If you call, because this is kind of the way I look at the NFL anymore, is if you really wanted to, every single play you could call holding on. Every single play you call holding on the line.
No, that's absolutely true.
You know what I mean? And so you kind of got to do it both ways or no ways. And that's fine, which is whatever. And there's obviously there's some that are more vagrant than others, and you got to kind of tone it down. But I mean, like, fuck. You got to kind of, I don't know. I don't envy the refs in their job. I don't. That'd be shitty for me to say, like, oh, I could do it way fucking better. No, I couldn't. And I know I can't. But I'm also not getting paid to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
And I think that, there's all these replays and stuff now that maybe they should, hey, was that really roughing the passer? Let's look at this play. You kind of got to use that too. Like, I don't know.
There has to, but no. Let me say this, and I think this was the part of the proponency that actually got rid of instant replay back in the early '90s, and then it ended up being brought back later on in the 2000s with the challenge flag.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that was happening was that every call was getting reviewed, and it became a parody of itself. The NFL at that time wasn't as strong as it was. I mean, baseball and basketball were still more popular than the NFL at that point, or almost as popular. And you got to the part where every little play was getting called. So once that ended up, being abolished and they got rid of it, then they started realizing there was a lot of missed calls that should have been overturned. I mean, at one point, I kid you not, that was when they did the famous, I forget who the hell called it. I think it was Pittsburgh that called heads, and the referee said tails it is, and then it ended up going to the other team, and the other team kicked the field goal and won the game while that happened.
Right.
They couldn't review it. They couldn't do any of that. So I would say is when you're hitting the penalties, a little bit too much is, I can understand it on short yardage plays. I can understand it on any type of turnover or any type of what's it called, of a scoring play.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel that if you do start using the instant replay just on, somebody's holding, somebody's doing that, you're going to end up having every coach throwing the red flag on something insignificant just so that they can get a competitive advantage.
Right.
And thank God Belichick isn't in the freaking NFL right now, because he would have done it the worst. He would have called a flag on every single play.
Right.
But no, it's a little bit better that that it is the way it is right now. I'm just glad that
because you could, because I'm gonna go this way, because you could go the opposite way too. I'll play devil's advocate, and you can go the way of like the NBA where they don't call nothing. The NBA has got, I mean, and this, I have gotten away from watching professional basketball. I haven't watched NBA in a long time, and now I got this job where I sit there and I got to watch basketball all day, and I can't stand it, dude. I'm like, what is traveling anymore? Like,
no.
Like, come on, man. You gotta call some traveling. You gotta call some of those lane violations. Like that, to me, that expedites the game a little bit when you do that. Like it makes them. It doesn't expedite. It makes it kind of more. It's turned into the Harlem Globetrotters. Is what to me. That's what NBA feels like. College ball is kind of all right, but it seems to kind of still be a little bit of a push on that. And it's like, come on, man. Like, oh, it got 3 steps. Motherfucker, okay, you get 3 steps, you took 7. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Now the NBA has become. People will say that this is the best basketball that's being played right now. No, this is not the best basketball that's being played right now, because every shot right now is a one-on-one. There is no team game that is happening whatsoever. Every shot, thanks to Steph Curry, every person is now going to be shooting the 3 points. Actually, I would say thanks to Steph Curry and freaking Kevin Durant and all of these other players. The post players are completely gone.
Right.
And, the 3-point line has become the de facto, way to do that. It's kind of like Major League Baseball, where everything has to be a home run.
Yep.
Everybody is hoisting up threes, and whether or not they're hitting them is irrelevant.
Right.
The thing that gets it is that you're spacing the floor out so much that you're playing one-on-one, and you're barely getting any type of help defense. So with no help defense, it's a free lane and free shots, and everybody is able to, get the points out of it and commit these fouls and violations that are never going to get called because, well, 1 second later the guy's got the basket and the other team's turning around to hoist a 3-point in transition. Yeah.
Well, we started out. Okay, so we'll start at these. I gotta go to the comments a little bit.
Okay, no problem, man. Absolutely.
No, because
your show. Fuck.
Okay, well, I'll start out with that one then, because Sarah said this started football and y'all went basketball. Hey, Sarah, we don't have a script, baby. We just go. We just roll with it.
Hey, this ain't the Sports Bar, which is on every Sunday night on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across YouTube, X. What's the other one? Kick and Facebook.
Yeah, but I will say this though, like, I do think that not having the script for the show makes it more fun. We'll go with that. Patrick says, with the increased use of technology, do you think AI image processing could assist if they used it in every play?
Not in every play, but I do believe that there should be something for sidelines as well as scoring plays.
Yeah.
I mean, look what they do in tennis. They put a review on the ball, and they're able to see whether the ball actually hit in or out off of a computer review.
Right.
That technology's been out for years.
Yep.
Look at
what was it 25 years ago? They had the chip in the puck. The Fox did, so they had the blue screen around it, so you could watch the puck, and that was in the late 90s.
Exactly. Yeah, and the NHL did it. Football has. Thank you. Appreciate you, baby. Football has kind of, great. They have great tech. They have all of this, great sites and phenomenal camera work, and they're the revolutions for the 8K cameras and the goddamn focus and all that.
Right.
They put on a great presentation, but they are definitely lagging behind when it comes to actual in-play technology. English Premier League has been using their goal standard thing. I'm saying goal, GOAL.
Right.
Their review process, and that review process is so finite that I literally saw them with about like maybe 3 centimeters of the ball over the line before the what's it called? The goalie hit it.
Yep.
They were able to measure that 3 or 4 centimeters, whatever it was, and say, hey, guess what? It actually went in. That's a goal.
Yep.
And when that happens, you know that the NFL could easily do something.
Absolutely. Like and they've done, I wonder for, like, even if you just use that for scoring plays, and if you had some sort of chip in the ball or some sort of AI way to, because I mean, look at some of those like goal line situations, right?
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to tell some of those if the ball crossed the plane, right?
Yeah.
But if you had, I mean, they do it in soccer, they do it in hockey, they do it in tennis. They've got a way, like I've seen and with like the VAR in soccer,
VAR, that's it. Thank you for telling
when they do like an offsides call, like they can tell if somebody's left hand is offside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you think even if it was just if they used that for review and say, hey, you know what? Hey, I want to challenge the spot of the ball, or I want to, I want to do the thing. I want to. I want to challenge the scoring or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they can pull that up. You don't have to do it every play,
No,
But
I think it could be used as a supplement type of thing where
Mhm.
it could be, augment or it be added to what's already being existingly used. But
Right.
who's also to say that it's not being used and we just can't see it because, it's behind that peep show booth that they bring out for the referees to see everything.
Right. Well, well, because I doubt that because they freaking the rule on the field stands, right? And then they have to
Yeah.
unequivocally overturn that.
Hmm.
Where there's been some times where if I was in that little hood, I'd be like, no, dude, that dude was in or he wasn't, and they still don't overturn the play. So I
Yeah.
feel like they don't do that. But also, I could a hockey puck is what, 3 inches in diameter, 4. They're not very big,
Yeah, about that. Yeah, it's about 3 inches in diameter. Yeah.
So I mean, in a football's what, a foot, 14
Um,
inches long,
well, about 11 inches. Yeah,
11
10 to
inches.
11
Yeah,
inches. Yeah.
yeah. Tell my wife that's 3 feet, please. But anyway,
I tell your wife that's 3 feet, then
yeah,
I better be telling my wife I'm 5 footer, and
yeah.
at the same
That's
time,
just
that's how tall I am.
looking forward to Valentine's Day, so I can give her
Yeah,
both inches. But
yeah,
anyway,
I'm as tall as I am laying down.
oh, what happens if a football in play hits a camera drone?
All right, drones will never be part of the NFL.
No.
Period.
But they have
Uh,
those. But what are those cameras they have? They're on like a gimbal mount and like
okay, yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
All right, so that camera angle is only used during kickoffs. It's never used during the field of play, but that is a wire guided
Mm-hmm.
that wire guided. And the reason why the wire guide is there is because, let's just say, other than the FAA saying no, you can't do that, you have to have some type of redundancy if something were to able to
Yeah.
fall because you're literally on a live field.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that, and that's the reason why you're never going to see drones in a freaking NFL game. You're never going to
Right.
get the FAA to say anything over the stadium. In fact, you can't even fly over an NFL game. All those Goodyear blimp freaking sites that you're seeing, they're shooting that from 20 no, I mean they're shooting that from over a mile away, and
Right.
most of the shots that you're seeing of the Goodyear blimp riding around were taken before the game.
Right. Well, and I haven't even seen the Goodyear blimp like at those games lately. Have you?
Not really. I think Goodyear has kind of gotten rid of the Goodyear blimp as far as yeah.
What happens with the
It shows up every now and then, but it doesn't, like I think there were some people that were even saying the Goodyear blimp wasn't even at some of the games, and then they advertised like over the skyline 3 days earlier that
Oh,
Goodyear blimp happened to be there, and then they
Susan
just
said she
shot it
can't
in
do
the game.
sports. Oh, sorry. Well, we're getting to the
Yeah, we're gonna get the yeah.
but I'm also going to say that like I think a lot of people we're talking about hobbies, right? And I think a lot of people to an extent watching sports, being involved in sports, playing sports are just as much a hobby as playing chess or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that that's kind of a big deal. I enjoy it. I don't know if I really call my watching sports a hobby as much as some other people's because some people really get into it. I enjoy it. I don't have like a favorite pro team. I don't. In any sport. And I like watching all the sports. I like watching hockey. I like watching basketball. I like watching football. I struggle with baseball. As an adult, I struggle with baseball. I think they've gotten better over the last few years, but it's still, I don't know. It's like a 3.5 hour game. I just can't. I'm too ADD to watch
No,
it.
I get that with baseball, and even with the steps that they're taking to try to increase the speed of the game, you're still getting 3.5 hour kind of
Mm-hmm.
drudge fests that are happening. I mean, look at the World Series this
Yeah.
year; it was still going over 3 hours, even with this pitch clock, as well as the breaks in between being shortened and stuff like that. The speed of the game has kind of also come with the play of the game, and that's why I also think that there's a lot of downtime in it, because the vast majority of Major League Baseball right now is unbalanced. Everybody is swinging for an uppercut home run, or they're trying to get a walk. There's no longer anybody trying to get base hits, manufacture runs, or try to steal anymore.
Right.
Or actually, I take that back. The stealing is up, but it's very few to actually manufacture a run. You're going to steal second when the guy on the next three guys are trying to hit you home on one swing. But I can understand that with baseball. Basketball itself, like I said, it's a different style of play that's happening right now versus what's happening in college versus what we grew up with playing.
Mm-hmm.
The ball is more spread out. And I can also admit too that my hobby definitely is sports related. All of my hobbies that I have are related to some type of physical activity in sports, because that's what I grew up watching. That's what I grew up doing.
Right.
So
well, and
there's some people who do other things, and hey, that's great that you do other things.
Well, and I think that's important that people do other things too. I think it, and I think that's like I'm gonna pull up. So Musa sent this last time. I'll start with him, and this is one we did. We did the same show last June. I think was the date I was seeing a lot of these come in, and he this is an espresso machine, and he rebuilt the whole thing. Like he got it like, I don't know, broken or something, I don't know if he got it dumpster diving or was given to him or whatever.
Yeah.
And he took it all apart, cleaned it all up, rebuilt a couple pumps and some plumbing and stuff in it, and then got it running, and now he's making espresso.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit like this is like, I don't know, that's something I can't do. I mean, here's the thing is, I believe most people are like this, okay? If something interests you enough, you can do it. I firmly believe that. If something interests you enough, you can 100% do that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that doesn't interest me, because I'm a mechanically inclined person. I just don't drink coffee. You know what I mean? I don't. I got away from it. I got all my stomach so messed up. I can't drink coffee anymore.
I'm a Diet Coke guy in the morning, so you're preaching to the choir. Me, TZ, Spanky, yeah, we would put a case of Diet Coke away in about 5 minutes between all three of them.
and then you guys would get there after Spanky. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's right. And then we'd have to go buy another case for Spanky too.
So Gary,
Spanky in the chats tonight.
I haven't seen her. She might come up. She usually comes in a little bit late.
Come on, Spanky.
So, Gary sent me these. He sent me these ones before. He does scroll saw work.
Ooh.
And he's made these on a scroll saw. These are the ones he showed me last year when we did this, or last June.
Mm-hmm.
And I just that's amazing. And I've done, when I was in high school. My dad was actually a Votech teacher. He taught auto body and auto mechanics like that. But so I spent a lot of time doing this kind of stuff. Right. And all his buddies were the teachers. So I already knew all the woods teachers and electronics teachers and stuff. And I love messing with wood. That sounded bad. But I love.
No.
You know what I mean?
We can get into that. I'm just picking my one current hobby tonight, because I can also talk to you about woodworking.
Yeah, because you sent me some stuff before when you were doing that.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. That's right. I think I sent that. Yeah, I think that was actually last year. I sent that to you. Yep. I sent you the coin rack that we made, the dog bowl holder. Hell, here's another good one. We're actually going to be doing a wall-mounted American flag in about 2 weeks. March 1st, we're going to be doing that.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah. I also got a a wood turning class coming up.
That's really cool. I love wood turning. I wish I was better at that. But this one he sent me, and he just built this coffee table. And that,
nice, with the adjustable top on it.
Nice. Yeah, that's really cool.
Top, excuse me.
Yeah, and some storage kind of in there and stuff. Yeah. That's really cool. And that's one of those things where, my little planes take me a week or two, depending on how much I actually get into it and whatever. But I mean, that's impressive to make something that
Yeah. What kind of wood? I'm looking at it right now. Oh shit! Hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. Radar. You don't have my video on, do you?
No, I don't.
All right, good, because I just yeah. If you see my video, you know what I'm doing right now. So
Yeah, put that
yeah,
sucker away. I was kidding.
yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Is that better?
Much better.
Yeah, much better. Wait. Oh fuck. Wait a second. I'm trying to find my my glasses. Anyway, no. Looking at that, man,
Oh,
that is a
Gary
lot
said
of
it.
glue up.
Gary said it's
That
a
is.
walnut top and base.
That's what I was looking at to try to figure out what kind of wood that was. And am I seeing it? All right, is that an oak barrel, or is that a walnut barrel?
Like a wine barrel, kind of, or a whiskey barrel.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
yeah,
Gary's in the chat. Is that a barrel, Gary, or did you make that? Did you glue that all up, or did you?
yeah, because if you did glue it, if you did make it yourself, man, phenomenal craftsmanship on the
Yeah.
freaking on the half circle. This
Yeah.
fucking circle, anything round is freaking hard to do in woodwork.
I know.
period.
Yes.
Oh, damn,
Yes.
is it hard?
Especially like if you want to make something straight, then round.
Yes.
He said it's an oak barrel from A. Smith Bowman.
That's yeah, and I like that, man. And
That's really cool. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. No, I like the legs underneath it too. The legs underneath it really because they differentiate between that between that barrel there, and that's what I'm saying, man. The contrast between it is
it's
nice.
really pretty. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is kind of one I dabble in a little bit. Captain Wayne Baconator sent us this one before, and he sent me two. He sent me these photographs he's taken, doing some photography stuff, and I love photography. I've got a pretty decent camera for like taking pictures of the kids playing soccer and shit, right? Doing that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he sent me those, or maybe that was it says Captain Wayne, so I'm gonna go with Captain Wayne. And
yeah,
then
it's a.
And then he sent me these paintings that he did as well. And that's one thing I've never been, and this is so weird because I have my wife listening. I hope she's not listening. I have a bunch of money. I spent, well, I didn't spend too much money. I spent like $250 on like two real decent airbrushes. Like some of that stuff you can spend millions on if you want, not literally millions, but you can, if you want to get some super high-end airbrushes, you can spend $750 pretty easy.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
And so I didn't do that. I spent like $280 something after shipping and tax on a pair of Harder and Steenbeck airbrushes. Okay. So, but I mean, I can't.
I got no idea if that's like a good brand or if that's like Harbor Freight.
No. It's like so. Like the Harbor Freight ones are like 20. It's kind of well, and Iwata would be like So Iwata and Harder and Steenbeck are kind of like they're like the Chevy and Fords of airbrushes. Like they're pretty common, higher end, maybe more like Cadillac and Lincoln of airbrushes. Yeah. They're not like the Ferraris because you can get some super high end stuff if you want. But I didn't do that. I didn't go that far. But I can't do any kind of painting like that. You know what I mean? I can't do anything like I can do like airbrushing camouflage on little planes, but I can't do like anything cool like those. So.
No, I get it. And it's some beautiful artwork, man. And
it's great.
That's the other part too. All right. So the vast majority of us that are watching, listening in the chats right now, we're finally at that age where I guess the stuff that really interests us we were able to afford the fucking things that we need.
Well, for now, yeah.
Yeah, for now. That's a good point until, Temu starts getting up the prices.
Right.
But no, I'm glad that, the artistic expression, something like that, if that came from Wayne, I guarantee you as a captain, he wasn't doing that.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that This is something that a lot of people, when it comes down to the transition from the military, all right,
Right.
regardless of what branch you're in, finding that hobby is the thing. And you've harped on this too,
Mhm.
man. Finding that hobby is that thing that's keeping you busy, and it's keeping you from not sitting down and watching your cable news of choice
Right.
and getting ticked off by what other people are doing, or sitting down and doom scrolling on whatever social media platform, dark web, whatever the hell you want to kind of look
Right.
at. You're doing something productive, you're doing something that's making you feel a hell of a lot better. And it's you're doing something after coming down from such a high stress freaking position. You're doing something to take care of yourself.
Right.
We're in a society, as well as in a military, where self-care is, well, looked upon as a weakness.
Right.
It's not a weakness, okay?
Right.
Outside of our freaking testosterone, filled unga bunga fucking thinking, in the military, we are still human.
Right.
So it's okay to still be human. I
Mhm.
think I think that might also be another thing that a lot of us struggle with, is that we don't know how to be human,
Right.
you know?
All Susan's got watch some old Bob Ross episodes. Yes. Well, and here's the thing with I'll
Hey, they got it on Pluto, man. Pluto's got them 24/7. It's freaking awesome
right.
sometimes. You can fall asleep to them.
Mhm. Well, and I just love okay, like, could I get on like and make some like little trees and shit? Probably. I could probably do that. And this is gonna go back to what I said at the beginning of this is if I gave a shit enough, I could probably do it. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm I look at those pictures that he sent,
Uh-huh.
and those are creative. They come from like those aren't just like I can paint a tree. I can look out my front window and paint a tree, right?
Yeah.
But it's not creative. It's not as expressive. It's not as and I know some people can do that. I can't. I've never been great at that like expression in art. I don't feel like I'm that good at that kind of stuff. And so credit where credit's due. I think those are some amazing paintings, and I just don't feel like I could do justice by trying to imitate them. And it's the same with the Bob Ross stuff. I mean, because he makes some cool stuff. But
I admire anybody who is an artist, because I finger paint.
yeah,
Okay. That's about the extent that I have.
mm-hmm,
So somebody who takes something from and is able to put it on a piece of paper, or put it on a canvas and freaking be able to recite it off of memory, or just look at it and get something or find something creative for them. I mean, me creatively, this is the analytical thinking I think I have, is that I'm probably more analytical than I am artistic. So I don't think of anything in such shapes or forms or shades or colors. I think of things in, its own place and its own box and all this other stuff. And
right.
I really do got to admire that, the way people are paint and the way people are able to create something.
Mm-hmm.
It fascinates me a little bit
Oh,
more now as I get the time to, really think about it.
Susan's right. Though even as background noise is very relaxing. His voice is soothing. Yeah, absolutely, it is. Bob Ross was a national treasure, and I don't think he was appreciated enough when he was alive. That's my feeling on Bob
I
Ross.
have to agree with you. I think Bob Ross was clowned upon. I remember I was in like 12. I was in like, I think I was in like sixth grade when he died or something like that. And
Mhm.
everybody was always making fun of him. Oh, the happy little trees. Oh, the this, the that. And, it was kind of like the dorky thing. But, this is the funny thing. There's certain things that happen through generations, and you kind of look back on it at either as timeless or they're starting to come back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny how PBS stuff is now timeless
Yep.
instead of just coming back, like Sesame Street's timeless. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is timeless.
Well, and
Bob Ross is timeless, What was her name? Oh God, I knew how to cook the French
Oh
cuisine.
yeah.
Julia Child. Holy
yep,
shit!
Julia
I wanted
Child,
to say
yep.
Julia Roberts, but
her too.
Yeah.
They're about the same age. You can't tell by one has way more plastic surgery done.
But yeah, you see where I'm coming from
Yep.
with that. It's like, there are people that PBS had some timeless shit, man.
Yeah.
They really did. I'm kind of glad that, it's still resonating after all of those years of things that, yeah.
But
PBS
I'll
was
say
good
but
shit.
I'll say this about Bob Ross in particular. He was a Vietnam vet. He was in the Air Force, and we give the Air Force some shit, but I mean, I'm sure that he still had some of that PTSD and whatever they called it back then, shell shock or whatever. And I know that was a way he kind of,
He had, it was
that
his
was
coping mechanism.
that was a coping mechanism, and that was it falls along the same lines of like what we're talking about tonight. And in a way to kind of relax and get away from it, and he just happened to turn it into a business.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of relaxing,
Oh wait! Before we go on this one, are we going to address the PBS connection also with Mr. Rogers?
Oh,
let's go into the lore of him being a fucking SF sniper full of tattoos. And that's why he kept the cardigan on, so nobody saw that. The dude was not an SF sniper. Okay,
No.
ladies and gentlemen, just look up the Wikipedia thing. But let's keep that legend alive.
Yes, good enough. Because he was actually factually like a Presbyterian preacher or something like that.
He
wasn't
was, yeah, he was, yeah. Just an overall great dude that wanted to see everybody right.
Well, and I think,
and also on top of that too, I'm going to say this: he's been around kids all his entire life, was doing a whole bunch of shit around kids. Not one motherfucker ever accused him of ever touching them inappropriately.
Nope. And
just saying that.
I'm gonna say, and I wonder. I'm gonna tie this back to what we're just talking about, though. I wonder if that's maybe kind of why we look at things like, oh, Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross and David Attenborough, that was brought up in the chats too. Like, I wonder if we don't look at that kind of stuff and with some sort of reverence, because like that's kind of what the world needs right now. The world needs people. The world needs more people who just do selfless acts because it's the right thing to do. He was a minister, not a priest. Sorry, I don't know the terms. I'm not super into that. But yeah, he was Baptist or Presbyterian. I don't recall exactly which one. I think he was Presbyterian.
Christian. That's the best way to describe it. He was a Christian pastor.
But all in all, he was a good dude and did things for the right reasons. I don't think that any of those people like in the early days of PBS, I don't think like Bob Ross made tons of money. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't think he was doing that for the money. I'm sure he got a little bit out of it. I'm sure he made some money out of it. But I know, like, he never sold any of his paintings. I think he donated some of them. Like, I mean, like, he was in it for the right reasons, at least on the outside. I don't know. Maybe he was, like, super crazy, and that was the only thing that kept him from going absolutely batshit. I don't know. Maybe he turned into the Unabomber if it wasn't for paint. I don't know. But what I do know is, we look at those guys from our outward appearance and say that's what we need. We need people who don't overreact to everything, who are just generally good people doing nice things to be nice.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I believe that's exactly what we kind of need as far as entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And we also need to kind of get off of Facebook and freaking,
yeah. Patrick brought up another one too. Like, he did a lot to combat racial stereotypes. Mr. Rogers did. He was back in those. And I think he had, didn't he have some like...
I was about to say Bob Ross. Wait a minute, but Mr. Rogers, yeah, he did.
Okay, I mean, we were talking about you a little bit ago. Talking about your pictures and your paintings. He's like, what's up, topics? I was like, yeah, you were literally our topic for like 15 minutes.
Yes, you were.
But yeah, we were talking about relaxing, and then there's Heath. Relaxed, catching fish. Hopefully he's catching fish. And I think that's a...
Heath Barlow?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I think that's something I try to do in the summertime. You know what? Up here we have ice fishing. Fuck that. Yeah. No, I don't. No, there's nothing good about any of that.
All right, I wouldn't mind enjoying an ice fishing if I was staying in a cabin where I would be able to do that. I mean, I kind of want to do one of those, staying in the cabins and moving the cabin as you're, filling up a hole or the hole fills up. In fact, I kind of think it's cool that people actually freaking sleep right next to where their lines are, and there's a little bell when you're ice fishing, so that when you're sleeping, and if somebody catches it at night, you can wake up real efficient and then fall back over to sleep. I think that's actually pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
fishing, I mean, look, fishing. I know some people that relaxes. I got a buddy Greg who massive fly fisher, and it relaxes the hell out of him. That's the most natural I've ever seen him, is when he's doing fishing. With everything else, this guy's like a ball of freaking energy and trying to do this, little Puerto Rican dude. But man, you get him on the water. He is an entirely different person, man. There's not a single care that he has. All of the stuff that he has that is affected him medically,
Mhm.
none of that stuff matters, man. Fishing, yeah. Look, I definitely get it. I've been fishing. I've done fishing. In fact, I'm going to do another one in April here pretty soon, and great fishing trip over there.
Mhm.
But yeah, for those that go out and get on the boat and do that, I can see why you guys do it, man.
Yep.
I can definitely see why you guys do
Well, and to me, ice fish, like those little cabins, they're actually like campers that they haul and they like sit down on the ice. And if you want to rent one, they're usually around $500 to $1,000 for a weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're no fucking joke. Like, and
Holy
you can
shit.
get like they're like basically like a pop-up tent,
Yeah.
and you can do those. But man, that fucking sucks. It's cold as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you're also in the middle of a fucking lake. And
Right.
yeah, there is no trees anywhere. I mean, it's not like, you're in the middle of a freaking, desert. I mean, well, think of it. You're literally in the middle of the open. You're going
Yep.
to have wind blowing on you.
Yep,
Like
and if you're not careful, they'll like blow away. Like your shit will like blow away like while you're in it. Fuck that. I want nothing to do with that shit.
You're gonna wake up and you're gonna be in the middle of a fucking lake,
Mhm.
and it just so happens that little ice block that you had your bed on just decided to crack right in the middle of it. Oh,
Now,
yeah.
what I have done in the past, and I still have the stuff, I just haven't. I have tip ups where you can drill the hole and then you put like
Yeah.
you reel it down and then it's just got like a little flag that pops up, and then
Okay.
you're allowed to have like in South Dakota you're allowed to have 4 lines in the water while you're ice fishing.
Okay,
And,
yeah, I've heard something like that too. With,
Yep.
with
And
other
so what
states,
what
yeah.
I've done is I put some pop ups up and I'll set my pickup in the heat and then watch them. But okay, so like the little bells, like that's what I have on my shore poles when I'm fishing like in the spring and stuff.
Yeah.
I just put a little bell in the end of it and I go sit, hang out, drink beer, fucking play in my camper. I don't know, we play horseshoes or bags or whatever. And when the bell starts ringing, you go and you fucking pull the fish in and put another one back out.
Man, shore fishing in Hawaii was the first time I ever really used the bells and used the poles and all that. But it was kind of nice when 11 o'clock or shit. Actually, I kid you not, man.
Mhm.
Me and my mother-in-law were up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So we decided to go all the way up to the North Shore and fucking go fishing at 1 o'clock in the morning, man. It was like a 30-minute drive to get to. We went to Sunset Beach, I think, and then we just went out there. We threw our poles in for about an hour and a half. We were just sitting there bullshitting, man. And I get it. Just leaving that bell on there and trying to catch something, it's relaxing and you're out of the way, but you still have a focus on something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just yep, I like regular fishing, but I'm not sure I could do the whole ice fishing for like a living. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not sure I could really get into that, so
No, I get it, your buddy.
I'm trying to
Oh, well, you got another one coming up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this one is just all messed up. I don't know what I did wrong.
Oh God. we're not gonna get like booted off OBS now, are
No,
we?
no,
That happened
no,
with King and I
no.
on Sunday.
No, I'm not gonna get booted off, but I need
Oh
to.
God. Hell, man. Yeah, it was
There
kind
we go.
of funny on Sunday. I was sitting there like, man, are we really that rusty that we have no idea what the hell we're doing on the
Yeah.
stream?
We don't want to say yes or no. We'll neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, that's definitely confirmed. Come on now.
All right.
Well, King and I actually talked about this, man. We hadn't been on air together since the middle of October.
I know, yeah. Between
that was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, with
between
all the stuff.
everything that happened with me and everything that happened with me, and then everything that happened with him, we hadn't been on air for like almost 3 fucking months.
I know, God, and and I had that problem when I had my knee replacement, but I had all those problems. I had so many problems. I still got nerve damage. Shit, my knee's still fucking, or my shin is still going. It's like numb and painful, and I keep bouncing around like I'm sitting on tacks. Sucks.
Oh, dang. Yeah, and TZ too. She has been going through some stuff too, man.
Yeah, she's been sick, and she had some work stuff, and she's been busy. So I'll go through some of my little tanks and models and stuff. That's a Gepard. And I did that for a group build for it's painted up Ukrainian, and I found a really cool picture where if you can kind of see camouflage net around the base of it, and I painted it up like that. It actually came out really good. And then a couple little planes.
Oh, I see it here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, I entered some of them in the fair. My wife was giving me shit, so the fair had like you could like put planes in there and shit. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. So that won like second place in its division.
Hell yeah, man.
So, and then here's some more. That tank in the corner, that's a Merkava Mark IV that I built. That one took first place in its division because it's considered a vignette because it's got the desert base on it and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But that one did all right. But most of what I do is like World War II planes, just because I don't know. I like World War II planes.
You got a Spitfire on there?
Yeah, that's a Spitfire. That's lower left.
Lower left. Yeah,
yep.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep, that's a Spitfire. That's a photo reconnaissance one. It's a Mark 19 with the Griffin engine in it. Now I'm nerding out. And the big 5-bladed prop and stuff. So
Man, the Spitfire was England's freaking answer to the war, man. If it wasn't for the Spitfire in England, that became the most iconic freaking jet of World War II, actually.
Right. Yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't realize how many Spitfires Americans flew, especially in the beginning of the war.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the war,
we didn't really have an air force.
Yeah, and the ones that we did, the planes that we had in like 1941 sucked. They were dog shit compared to what they had in Europe, compared to the Messerschmitts and the Focke-Wulfs they had back then. So that was a big one.
And do you know who the big engine supplier was at that time?
Who?
Rolls-Royce.
Yep.
On top of that, too, Rolls-Royce has the fastest aerial motor that was ever built for commercial use. And that was the Concorde.
Yep. Can't wait. Yeah, the Army Air Corps. Yeah, and I'm not saying the Army Air Corps didn't have anything cool, but they were kind of dog shit.
So. I mean, the Army Air Corps' main use was also, for the airborne divisions as well. Right. That's where the vast majority of it was troop carrying that they did a lot. It really wasn't a lot of. There really was. I mean, yes, there were fighter jets, and there was a lot of it, especially over the Pacific. The Pacific had the most of it, but as far as Europe, yeah, those Spitfires were one of the greatest weapons in the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were cool. This one, I don't know if you can see that on the right there. That's a Wildcat, it's F4F Wildcat, and it was done up in German markings. And then in the top left is a Messerschmitt 410 that's done up in American markings. And we did, I'm on Discord, and we do a lot of like group builds on there, a lot of different modeling groups. And those were from a wrong markings group build, or like a what if group build. And the Wildcat saw very little service in the European theater. The British flew a few of them. They called them martlets, but it was the same aircraft. So the Germans never really saw that, so I thought that was kind of neat. And then the ME 410, and it's the same type of camouflage and stuff that was on it, but it's just the 3-tone navy camouflage. So, and American markings. I thought that was kind of fun. That's kind of a fun thing to do. Yeah.
You know what? And I'll show and I'll give you a what if over here too, because I literally have a what the over here for one of my shoes when I show it later on tonight, man.
And then I have one more after this one. Yeah. So these
Now,
I've been trying to do.
Hey, is that one on the right made out of wood?
The plane or the base?
Yeah, the plane.
No, it's plastic.
Oh, okay.
But I did.
No, I was looking at when you look at the pattern on it, it does kind of look like it's a wood pattern as far as the growth lines and all that.
Yep. No, well the base is wood, and then the plane itself that's a Spitfire Mark One. But it's we're doing some flying. But if you get up close, you can see the pilots all painted up in it and stuff, and that's kind of what I've been doing lately.
I see the little white dot. I see
this little white scarf. Yeah. So, and then that ME 110 in the top left, that was a really cool one too, and it's in the desert camouflage. And then on the bottom is kind of small, but that's the one I was trying to fix. It's a Russian plane, Soviet, and it never. Those were super cool. You don't see a lot of that here on this side of the world. Like, it's hard to find those models actually. So you gotta go to like.
Have you ever seen anything from the Russian Air Force or from the Russian military?
Like in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not very good.
Some of their stuff, some of their stuff. I mean, like it's just like it's awkward seeing it. It's kind of like seeing I don't know, the Jets win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's about you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, so that's what it looks like. All right.
Oh, Cat Wayne says he wants to see the Nerd Forge do up some ships and models. They're amazing at it. Dioramas on YouTube. Yeah. Well, and that's where I'm not going to ever do YouTube videos because I don't think that my stuff is that great. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, some of those guys that do like on YouTube, like those guys are fucking insane, dude. Like they like take all of the detail off like the cockpit and they'll grind it all away and then redo all of like the wires and shit with like these little miniature copper wires and fucking. No, dude, I ain't trying to be about that life, dude. I like to build them. I like to paint them. I like to, make those little display bases and put them in my little basement room down here.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fucking. No, those guys on YouTube, the ones who get like the actual views and shit, man, those guys are good.
Oh, I'll talk about the dirty little secret about YouTube too, man.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of those people, they're not making their money doing this full time. They're making their money on YouTube doing that.
Right.
That's not what it is. Like they're content creators. They're not, they're doing that as their hobby for it, or they're doing it as a full-time job, but they're making hand over fist. They're making more money on that than they would any time doing this type of hobby or this type of job or any of that.
Right. Patrick had a good question. I'll see if I can pull this guy up so you can see it up close. He asked how I can do it without brush marks. And I airbrush is the best way to do it. But if you look real close, I'll see if I can get this up. So if you look, that's that Spitfire, that one you were oogling over, the blue one.
Yeah.
And if you look on the little window behind the pilot seat, there's a little bit of brush marks on there. And it's almost impossible to do the whole thing without brush marks. But if you look kind of on that upper wing, there's some dark lines and you can like pre-shade it and then you thin the paint really thin and it doesn't leave any sort of like overlap or whatever. But even like when I brush paint some of the stuff, so I brush paint like the wheels and the propellers and shit like that. If you thin the paint, it doesn't leave the brush marks on it. And then sometimes what I'll do if I have something that's kind of giving me a pain, I'll take I'll just put thinner, Mr. Color leveling thinner. I'll put it in my paint, in my airbrush, and I'll just spray the whole thing over it. And then it kind of makes that paint, it kind of liquefies the paint just a little bit and helps it settle down.
I understand that. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know, like I I don't know. I do a lot of that shit like in my garage just 'cause I'm bored. You know what I mean? I don't try to get like if you look just about every one of these planes that I put up has like there's little imperfections in it. If you had it in your hand, you could see the little imperfections in it, right? I don't care enough to like try to make it 100% perfect. But so the weather
you're doing it enough for yourself though.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so like I try to make them cool and like, I want them to like look nice and I put it, they want to take my time on them a little bit. But like I said, like that one took me about, that's a smaller one. It took me about a week to build it and about 3 days to paint it and weather it.
Oh. Okay.
And then like the weathering, they make so many different products for like the exhaust stain on that. There's like a powder that you can like put on it. Like it's basically like a makeup that they put on it. So, but yeah,
you're taking like a powder and then you're putting it on a brush and then like flicking the brush or something like that.
You mix it. You mix it with a little bit of white spirit.
Okay.
And then you can or turpentine, and it kind of. If you look really close, it is kind of great. It looks like exhaust staining, like how it's supposed to, but it looks pretty neat. And then I don't know, like I like to do like research on the planes because that's kind of the fun part for me is actually doing like the research on them, and like you kind of can see like some of them like that that one Spitfire, the one that's flying, this guy, here I'm gonna put him up. How much like gun staining and stuff because when during the Battle of Britain, this is a Mark 1, so it was Battle of Britain time, right?
Yeah,
they didn't have time to like clean them. You know what I mean? So they had a ton of exhaust staining, and they were flying 4 or 5 sorties a day sometimes, so they didn't have a chance to clean them and do that. So they had a lot of, and I don't have a picture of the bottom of it, but there's a bunch of oil. Like if there's some really cool pictures of a Spitfire, especially Mark 1s in flight, and it looks like they just were leaking everything, and it was all blowing down the bottom.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty neat. And so I've always, tried to do that. Oh, Gary said it's the same with woodworking. Making it, all the mistakes, but most people don't even notice them. Yeah, that's true. And I think we're all our hardest critic. I will say that. I think everyone is their hardest critic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, like I said, I've always enjoyed little planes. I used to make them when I was a kid, and now that I'm older and can afford the cool ones and the fun toys, and you know what I mean, like and
look, we're not getting stuff signed by other people that go up in value when they're dead. We're doing something that makes us happy.
Yep, and I think that's the trick to it. Like if you look at I don't think Heath goes fishing for other people. I don't know.
No.
We looked at Captain Wayne's pictures, his paintings earlier. I know that, he probably doesn't make those for anybody else, and they're cool as fuck, and he just does them and enjoys them. And, that's,
and that's the cool thing about this thing with the hobby, man. Like, I remember seeing like people who are like collectors and they collect all this other stuff. And I'm not saying anything bad about you guys, and that's your hobby. If you want to have, as many autographs of cards or whatever, great.
Mm-hmm.
But just doing that, a lot of the people were doing that just so that they could make money off of that. If you're doing it for your enjoyment, but then there's an ulterior motive of trying to make money off of that by somebody else's work without you having to do anything.
Right.
That's not work. That's just fucking laziness.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But,
well, and I think for some of these too, like if you can get like, I know like in the modeling community, there's a lot of people that do commission builds. And a lot of people will be like, hey, my dad flew a Huey in Vietnam, and here's a picture of his helicopter. Can you make a copy of it? And people are like, yeah, I can do that. And then they, and I've got the machine to do it. I've never done it. But to like make custom markings and shit. Like I just, whatever decals come in the box, that's what I put on them, generally. You know what I mean?
I
don't, but I mean, yeah, because people have been like, hey, you should do this and da-da-da-da-da-da.
What is that? The Cricket? You got one of those things?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
I have a Silhouette. I don't have a Cricket. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. And the Silhouette does a lot more than the Cricket does. At least the one that I have in the price range. So, but yeah, the Cricket's kind of like the iPhone of them. Like they're pretty popular, but they're really not as good as the other ones.
No, yeah.
And I say that as I have my own iPhone, so I'm just talking shit. Like I still have an iPhone.
I got two of them. Both of them were given to me. One of them's my daughter's old one, and I still have it 2 years later. You know.
Insomniac James says he builds Gundams, which are kind of. Have you seen those? Gundam or Warhammer? Have you seen those?
Are we talking Gundam? The what's it called? The freaking Oriental.
Yeah, they're like
Magna or whatever the hell it is.
They're like
that show that was over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can buy the figures and assemble them and paint them all up. And they do some really cool. And then have you seen Warhammer? Like was it 40K and 50K, all that stuff? They do like. No. It's like some people play like you can actually play the game as like a fantasy game you can play with pieces, and some people just make them to make them, but they're little figures and you can they're kind of futuristic, kind of like Halo kind of stuff. They're like that. They're kind of they have like tanks and infantry and stuff like that, but they're all cartoonish and they're pretty cool. And they're a lot of work, but there's some really cool. They do some really cool things with the the painting and the designing and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, if people do those miniatures, will do they'll do like 200 little infantry guys or 24 little tanks or whatever, and then they actually do gaming with them, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of like painting your own chess pieces in a way. So
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's pretty freaking cool.
I like collecting Magic the Gathering cards here and there, but it's getting ridiculous for the price for a pack. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of my sons he was really big into Magic. He's kind of got out of it. But yeah, the prices that they charge for Magic the Gathering cards is just insane for what they want for some of that stuff.
See, I never really got into that, the card thing or anything like that. Like
right.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards or, but I mean, I know we and it's not only is it hard to get those things, but it's also harder right now to find public places to play for them.
Right
here in Fayetteville, we have 2 places, and one of them ended up going out of business. We've got one that does an actual board game type of thing, and that's the only place in town right now.
Right.
Oh wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute? I forgot. Did I say Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant to say Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg. Back to Bragg.
Forgot to say, yeah. What are you talking about? I'm still here at Bragg.
Right.
You know what's funny is that I went back. Somebody actually told me this, and I couldn't believe this, and it's rather funny. So, somebody who did a normal enlistment, and first duty station was Fort Bragg. Mm-hmm. They literally went from Fort Bragg to Fort Liberty and Fort Bragg just in that time period. 3 years. They literally PCS twice and didn't move a fucking station.
Move an inch,
Yeah. Now I am going to mention this. This is just me tooting a little bit of my horn here. Back in 2021, when all of this bullshit was kicking off about renaming the bases, and look, I can understand it. I did not think that Fort Lee should have been freaking, one of the ones used. But Bragg itself is just its own entity.
Yeah.
And look, I'm glad that they actually, for Bennington to Moore, that's great, and Hood also sucked. But Bragg to Liberty was the one that everybody had the gumption for.
Right.
2021. While they're making town halls and doing all of this other stuff, and fucking Dan McNeil and Robert England are all making their decisions about what to name it, either Bienvenez or Shugart or Gordon, or actually they weren't going to do Gordon because of another reason. But I always argued that they should have renamed Fort Bragg after Braxton Bragg's general frickin' cousin, Eddard Bragg, who is a general in the frickin' Pennsylvania Army during as a Union.
Mm-hmm.
No, excuse me. Yeah, as a Union soldier in Civil War.
Yep.
So, I mean, I can understand keeping it with modern times and a little bit from that, but it always made sense to me to put Eddard Bragg up there. Now, finding that other Bragg, that's literally a stroke of luck. Literally, people were looking for something.
Absolutely, I'm 100% sure. And not to be shitty on that. Like, I've spent my time in Bragg and I didn't hate it. But to me, this all seems like semantics. The whole thing, changing it the first time and changing it now, changing it back, changing it around. It's nothing like. It just
nothing changed.
No.
It was okay. I'm not going to say it was stupid. I really do think that in some of the ways, like I said, I was never Fort Lee. Oh, there's history behind Fort Lee. It's a fucking trade post,
right?
And it's named after goddamn, the person whose car was on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right.
That's what I always thought about it.
Right.
And Hood needed a name change as much as possible.
Right. Just to
but
not be so shitty.
But yeah, I mean, when you made all of them, there was good reason for the vast majority of them. For Bragg, there really wasn't.
Right.
I mean, what got changed? It was I know Lee got changed. AP Hill might have gotten changed. I don't even know what the fuck AP Hill is anymore, nor do I care. Here's a good one for you. The Fort Fisher had a recreation area. It's like there is a military recreation area in Fort Fisher, North Carolina. I can't remember what the hell the name of it was, but then it got renamed, and I never knew what the hell the rename was, and I still call it the Fort Fisher Rec Area because, well, it's right by Fort Fisher. Now, I've got no idea if Fisher was a fucking Confederate soldier or whatever, but when they change it, they didn't change the damn town. It still says Fort Fisher. There's still freaking everything there in Fort Fisher. They just changed the naming of the place.
Now,
that's it.
Hold
that's
on.
all they did at that rec center.
Hold your thought, because this is the best fucking idea I've heard in years.
Okay.
Patrick says, open it up to corporate sponsoring, naming rights like stadiums, and use the money to improve the barracks. How fucking genius is that, dude?
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah, welcome to Fort Bragg, sponsored by Taco Bell. Just Fort Hood can be Fort Tampax.
Hey, after that debacle that happened ever since they got that transgender guy to drink a Bud Light, man, Fort Budweiser sounds like it would be the most patriotic fucking base ever.
Yep. Fort Hood is Fort Tampax. That's hilarious, Phil. Love it. Fuck yeah, dude.
No, where's Tradoc located? That's Fort Tampax. Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God. The only reason why I actually thought about anything from Tradoc today is because I saw that video of on the main page. They had a Sergeant Major of the Army, Weimer, and the dude from the Marine Corps. They were all talking about that, and then freaking they had Raymond Chandler show up over there. That motherfucker. Every time I think of him, I just keep thinking that motherfucker hit in Tradoc, did one deployment as an ops sergeant major, and then fucking became the Sergeant Major of the Army.
Yeah.
What a shitbag. I don't care if he was at the Sergeant Major Academy. What an absolute shitbag of a human being that man was. That man did it. That man's leadership, it went as far as his fucking, it went as far as his penis freaking goes down on there. He's the kind of guy that would walk into a freaking wall with a hard on and his nose would be broken.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I say that because that dude, they made fun of him like he is a box of fucking rocks.
Yep.
And that's what I keep thinking about every Tradoc freaking leader that's out there. So let's piss somebody off over in the chats tonight.
Fuck yeah. I don't think anybody's going to talk shit about or not be mad about Tradoc.
Good. Or Chandler.
Well, speaking of dirty, I'm putting your Crocs up first.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's your turn, bud. You got to tell me about this shit. So, all right. So these are some Crocs.
Yes. So the bottom pictures that you see right there are the Crocs that my son had when he went off to college.
Okay.
And what I was doing was I was actually testing a new cleaning method, and I got a new steam cleaner, which is broken right now. But what I decided to do was just kind of test it out to see how well it worked. And the bottom left picture, I did that right crock, just the top of it, just to show them the difference of what it looked like after steam cleaning it and what I did with that. Then on the bottom right one, I did the foot that was just straight steam cleaner, and that's what ended up doing it. And then the final results are those two right there. I mean, it went from a pair of shit Crocs to those things are looking brand new again.
Right.
You know,
and that's no chemicals. That's just hot water, hot steam.
That is straight steam clean. I prefer to use just natural or as natural over the counter common items instead of getting like, chemicals or anything like that. I do not want to do any type of chemicals, but I will explain a little bit of the chemicals when you go to the next pictures.
All right. So,
but yeah, those are Crocs, and look, anybody can go ahead and make those Crocs look better. Your Crocs don't have to look like shit. But if they do, a steam cleaner will take care of that. And it took me maybe 5 minutes for both shoes.
Oh, really? That's it.
And yeah, that was it. 5 minutes at most with the steam cleaner, or 5 or maybe 10 minutes. And that's all it took me with that. And just wiping them down after, each pass that I made, or not after each pass, but, after I did a certain area, took the dirt right off of it. All I really needed was just like a towel, or even paper towel. It actually had been better.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will show these ones next. I think these are just a pair of Jordans you sent me these are pre-cleaning.
Okay.
These are pre-cleaning, right?
No, yeah. So this is the Jordans that, these are the Jordans that if we are going to go live, and I want to show you, if you're looking at my thing, these are the ones that I took out because I got to clean these again. Part of that is because of the freaking scuffing on there. But this is the pair of Jordans, 19. No, it's not 19s. Excuse me. These are a 2012 pair called the Hair Jordan 1s. You can go to the next pictures too, but this is actually Bugs Bunny ones.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So these are like little cool ones. I got these for $15 because they were just sitting on somebody's and they needed a hell of a lot of work. And that's what I wanted to look at, was a cheap pair that I could work on. So you got the next picture up?
Maybe. Hold on. I don't know.
Not a problem.
These are the ones that I got next.
Oh, okay. Okay. So go back to that other one. I'll show the other pictures here in a minute. So this one right here, it's got two separate things that needed to be done. On the one on the left, you can see the scratch marks that are down on the toe. Those scratch marks, that all of the paint has basically, gotten itself off. And there are plenty of marks here where just over time and, utilizing that, the white paint's completely gone.
Right.
So within the next couple of weeks, you were talking about the airbrush too. I'll bring that up. During the next couple of weeks, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have some sandpaper coming. That sandpaper is going to help me, sand off all the or scrub down all of these patched areas, make it all nice and smooth, and then I'll be able to repaint the areas. And like the areas that I have a lot of a lot of wrinkling in, those I'm pulling out, but as I sand it off, it'll smooth itself out and it will get rid of those wrinkles in there. And then I'm going to paint them over. You really can't see on this one, but I mean, on that top right one, or the right one, that material is nubuck. And when we go live, I'll show you what the nubuck looks like, but that thing is completely dirty, but that has to be cleaned in a separate manner, mainly because you don't want to get that leather wet. That's the kind of leather.
Okay, so you can't use the steam cleaner on that. You have to.
No, you can definitely use the steam cleaner on that. The steam cleaner is a hell of a lot better. You don't want to get it wet, as in you're soaking it, you're washing it.
All right.
So the steam cleaner, think about it is when you're hitting the steam, you're going to get that little bit of water, and you're going to feel some water when you've got it up close. And I do have it up close, but it's not as much water as if you were using
it. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So you're able to kind of lift it off with the heat. You're still having some water to keep some friction. And if you're making bubbles with the soap and everything, you're getting that foam, you're able to get that. Now it does evaporate the stuff pretty damn fast.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work quick enough, you're not only able to get that going, you can actually do it without any type of soap and bring that leather back so that it's smooth, it's not so dirty anymore, and you're able to, actually bring it back to, its factory edition. Or
Okay.
not its factory edition, but
Susan says you have to be careful with chemicals and that dihydrogen monoxide.
Yes, that's very true. That's why I've been using a lot of natural things, and I've also been using a lot of the stuff that's been well, I'm not going to say free, but chemical free, as well as fragrance and well, the thing that she just talked about, as far as the chemicals, I really try not to use any any real harsh chemicals. I mean, Dawn is still a chemical,
right?
But it's a detergent soap, and that actually is the best thing to use
because
instead
it pulls
of
it out. It doesn't, yeah,
exactly. And using detergent like Tide and other things, that definitely works. But there's different things that you can utilize in order to do it. I just prefer using stuff that I commonly have.
Right.
That stuff is out. What I'm looking for too is I'm looking for my freaking spray bottle. Oh wait a minute, never mind, I got it. It's over behind Cholo over here.
Okay, so I went to these ones, and so what's happening here?
All right,
Susan, we know it's water, bro. We're having fun. We're having fun with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
so what you're seeing right here, I believe the pair. All right, so on the left and on the right are the same shoes.
Okay.
Those are my Columbia 11 lows.
Okay.
Those are 2 weeks after they were into the ice box. Now let's show. You got the pictures of the ice box?
I do have the ice box.
Yeah, let's show the ice box first.
Okay.
Okay. So that picture that you're seeing on the right, that is my ice box. Some people might want to call it a grow box or something like that. And what is in there is a UV light that my son got me. It was only like $30 on Amazon, 1200 or 1500 watts or something like that UV light. And then those 2 holes that are on to the side of it, those are ventilation holes.
Okay.
Now inside that box, you can see the picture there on the left. The picture there on the left is actually showing the shoes inside it. They're being directed right onto the shining is going right in onto the, well, looking at it, it's going onto the toes of the feet this time. That material that you see on the inside surrounding that is reflective Mylar. And in there, the UV rays bounce off at all crazy angles. So it's not only hitting it from above, but it's also hitting it from the sides, and it's hitting it from different angles so that all the UV can go into the soles and get rid of the yellowing.
Okay.
Let me see what other pictures you have ahead of you.
Oh, that's about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This one's back.
All right. So that pair that's on the left, that was the pair that was in the back,
on that picture,
the back right for it. I sent a couple other pictures, but the best thing I could tell you is that it looks like cat piss. Some of these ones really do look like cat piss when they start yellowing.
Yes.
Because you've got and you can't do anything about the oxidation. That's what has to happen is that. So I put those into the UV thing and into the ice box, and I could do 1 or 2 things with that. At that point, what I can do is I can put a chemical on it, hydrogen peroxide chemical like Salon Care 40, Salon Care 50. There's things called Soul Sauce. You'll hear it from like Fabes and Angelus. Angelus is a really good shoe brand that specifically just goes with shoes. Okay, hold on. My son's calling me, right, or my son's supposed to be watching right now on YouTube. All right, Robbie, I don't know what was 50. My little buddy is watching me on on TV. Oh, he must be talking about the light. The light was 50. Thank you, little buddy, for telling me about that. Oh, wow, he's still watching. Outstanding. So I guess he's been watching for an hour and a half. I told him I was going on at 8. So yeah, but that light you can either put Salon Care 40, one of those soul sauces in, and then you basically wrap it up in saran wrap and then put it put it in there and then let the UV lights really hit it. And what I'm trying to do is get away from that chemicals. The one pair that you saw that was really dark, I put the chemicals on. In fact, go back to that next picture, buddy.
This one?
No. The one the one that you showed of the icebox picture.
Okay.
All right. So you see that pair that's right there in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
Like on the left pair, it looks a hell of a lot more yellow. Those
Yep.
are the emerald ones.
Okay.
Those I tried doing Salon Care 44 for several days, and it did raise up some of the yellowing, but then that like 2 or 3 days later after doing it, I was like, man, this really isn't working. What the hell can I do? And, people say it takes a while. Well, I ended up going on someplace on Facebook, and this guy was doing this for like 2 or 3 months at a time.
Oh shit!
And just putting them in there, and I'm like, well, what the hell's happening to your freaking light bill? Well, he explained that this is just like putting on a daggone this is like leaving your LCD TV on a display that just goes black. That's how much energy you're actually using on these grow lamps. You're not using a lot of energy doing it. So he had the time to do that, and then made me think about it. And I talked to my son about it, and he's like, well, let's go ahead and do it. So that's when I started putting all 3 of the pairs that I had in. That pair that's down there in the front left of that's called the Jordan 11 Emeralds. They came out, God, Easter of some year.
Easter of one year, yeah.
Easter of one of those years. And those are supposed to be like blue with a green tint inside it. They have been cat piss yellow, and what I'm trying to do, if you can go back to the other previous picture, is that yellow one.
Hold on, which picture?
The one with the 3. No. The other one.
This one.
Sorry,
all right. Okay.
man.
No, you're fine. I'm just. When you just go to the other picture, I'm like,
so you see the Air Jordan logo on the inside of that one. That's from my Columbias. So now you can fully see that. You can't see it on these other ones, and that's what I'm at least trying to get to. But those Columbias, like I said, the first picture and the third picture, those are the same shoes. The other ones that you're seeing right there are the tuxedos. Those tuxedos are nearly blue again. About another week or week and a half afterwards, and those white and that's going to end up being blue, that bottom portion of the heel. On top of that, too, with a lot of the with the UV stuff, naturally it gets rid of the yellowing inside of it. So there was a little bit of yellowing over on those all white Columbias that were up on the leather. That has started to subside too. So I'm rather happy about that. And that's actually coming from that.
Okay. So hold on just a second.
Good. Yeah.
We've got some questions in the chat, and I want to get these out. So Patrick said he always thought the UV caused the yellowing like it does to plastic and polyurethane. Why does it remove it from shoes? Or is that not what actually causes it?
It's the oxidation that causes it.
So the UV light kills the oxidation, which is the yellow.
Yes, it's okay. UV light does cause different type of yellowing. And it all depends on like how often it's blasted. If it's the sun, it's going to yellow. But with what I have right here with the UV blue light just crossing it over as it's utilized more so that it can clear out the oxidation.
Right.
And that's the main thing that caused the oxidation in the rubber that's on these soles right here. It's not plastic. This is,
well, and I'm going to say this, and I think this is maybe kind of a little bit more on the scientific end of it, but there's so many different spectrums of light. And if it's just UV, I imagine it's probably UVA on that grow light. I think it's the other like UVB and UVC that actually cause a lot of the yellowing in like headlamps and stuff like that, like clear plastic. I think that's kind of more what causes that oxidation. And because the sun runs on all the spectrums of light, where you've isolated it and you're just using the one type of light or one spectrum of light, and that will help eliminate some of that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Insomniac James wants to know if it'll get the oil out of tan boots. I imagine the steamer would, right?
You know what? In fact, that's actually what I was. I can show it over here on the live if we're ready to go on that. Or do you have? Do you want to switch it over to the live?
Do you? I don't have you on. Do you have video?
Yeah, I'm up on video right now.
I just see black on your video.
You do?
Yeah.
Hold on. How about now?
Nope. You're just black.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Yeah, I see my video. I don't know why the hell my video is not going, but I see myself on the webcam.
Let me see if I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's not my own fault. Let's try that. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have you on video. Try that.
Oh, you don't? Oh, damn.
Oh, no, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Hold there on. We go.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me get back into my uniform.
Just give me a second. Just give me a second, and I'll put it on. Such a professional show.
It's all right, man. Don't worry about it.
All right. So here we go. I got you up. I got you up with your picture.
Oh, you got me up.
Yep.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Coach here. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing great. All right. So what I want to show everybody is kind of the stuff that I am working on right now, and kind of a little bit more about my Jordan collection. So what you see in front of you right here is the Air Jordan 12. If any of you recognize this shoe, this is the shoe that Jordan wore in the 1997 playoffs. That first shot against Byron Russell, the game winner in Game 1 of the 1997 NBA Finals. This is the shoe that he was wearing. Now, it's not the most famous shoe that he was wearing during the playoffs. That would be the flu games, which are these, but down here is red. Now, this is a pair that I will wear almost every day if I can. The reason why is that this is phenomenal comfort. The later Jordans have a much better comfort. But on this, you can also see the differentiation in color between the leather as well as the rubber outsole. That one is another one where I might have to use chemicals or put this into the UV light to draw out all of the ridiculous, yellowing that's been happening there. So what I'm going to try to do is wear these for a while. When a couple of those shoes move out of the icebox, these will end up going into the icebox, not just for a little while, but just try to get rid of that yellowing. Hopefully try to make it as white as this leather is right here. Let me go on to a pair that I literally just cleaned. This is the pair that I was telling you about last week, Radar, that I bought and I said I was going to clean on air.
Yeah.
But then my steamer broke. And the reason why, and I actually ended up just cleaning them in another method, but I was going to steam clean these on air to show you how to do this, because these are a different type of leather than these right here. You can see this is that smooth, normal leather, what everybody kind of thinks about. You got a little bit of this kind, which is a snake skin leather. What you have here is what's called nubuck. Nubuck leather, it's pretty smooth.
It's like a suede, right?
It is like a suede.
Okay.
But it doesn't have the water propelling. It doesn't have the same smoothness, and it doesn't have the moisture wicking that the regular leather does.
Okay.
When you get these wet, they can stain. They can cause different variations in color. They can cause different things to make it look discolored, as well as kind of not get it clean. The best thing to use for these types of shoes is that steam cleaner. But what I did today is I just took this Dawn Power Wash, sprayed it on there, took my let me grab my little brush. My little brush like this, and I used a finite amount of water just on this brush.
Okay.
Scrubbed in the bubbles, started, really getting it to it, and then boom, the stains were starting to come out. Everything was fine. Immediately afterwards, what I did was I took a towel to it, just like this, got all the suds off, and then moved on to the next area. That's the best way to clean these. Now, these ones right here, I bought them last week for $60, right?
Okay.
These right now are retailing for brand new ones at about $210. Average price that you see for used ones are around $100 to $150. This is definitely needs some more work before it ever gets up to that level.
Right.
But I will go ahead and put that work in. Now, this pair right here. Oh, let me explain this one to you, because this one's my daughter's boyfriend's pair of shoes.
Oh.
And Robbie, if you're listening to this, I will let you know that I also did find a pair of shoelaces for him. And these right now are one of the reasons why you should never smoke, period, anymore. All right. These are called Jordan What Does. Remember how I said the what ifs?
Yeah.
These are the what does. You really can't see them, and I don't want to take them out of the bag because of what they're doing. But what these are Air Jordan 4s. And what they did was they took the colorway of the 4 originals. The white cement, which is my actual first pair.
Right.
This was the first pair that I ever got. This white cement was these Jordans. The military blue, the bread, which is the black and red, and then the fourth one, I can't remember the fourth color right now off the top of my head, but I think it's like white and red. It was cherry red or something like that. They took elements from all 4 of them, the back tabs, the little tablets up here, and well, they just decided to go ahead and put all 4 of them onto one shoe just to see what it looks like. And they call them the What Does. This is one of the most popular versions of the Air Jordan, mainly because of these tabs, what it looks like in these mesh. Now, why do I have this thing inside a freaking inside of a massive Ziploc bag? You see that yellowing right there?
Yeah.
All right, that's not really supposed to be yellow. That's supposed to be white.
Yeah.
But this, you would think it would be oxidation. No, it's not. This, I believe, as well as oxidation, is coming from freaking nicotine.
Ah, okay. I get it. I know what you mean.
Stink to fucking high heaven.
Of old smoke, old stale smoke. Yep. Okay.
Oh God, I have. This is the one that I broke the steam cleaner on. Robbie, if you're still watching, the steam cleaner couldn't get these out. I'm still seeing yellowing right in here, and I think it's still nicotine yellowing. I have cleaned them with my normal cleaner. I have put Ozium in the inside, sprayed it on the outside to get rid of the smell, and still the smell is there. I've even used baking powder to try to get rid of it.
Wow.
So what I did on this now is that I've got this now covered in freaking 6 different dryer sheets. Once I get this, and about whenever I come back Sunday or so, I'm going to take these out. I'm going to get these dryer sheets out. And I am hoping that the dryer sheets have sucked up all the cigarette smoke that's inside there, or the cigarette smell, and have gotten rid of it. If not, I am going to try to find something to do with it.
Oh, so that we got a couple more questions to chats. One, have you ever seen Nike Air Terra Contigos? Captain Wayne used to have a black pair, but he said they came in silver and gray. Didn't know if you had any of those or had a lead on them. Okay.
No, I am strictly a Jordan guy, but what you can find out, there's 2 websites that you can go on where people either sell them or take a look at them if you really like them. One of them is called StockX, StockX. Now, StockX has been a little iffy right now about selling fakes, but that kind of sneaker, I'm pretty definite that they don't have fakes of those. So you might be able to find a used one or a new one of that sneaker on that price.
Okay.
The other one, and the one that I know is going to be used, some people rarely put stuff on, is Poshmark. That's where I do a lot of my buying of my shoes. I go on different places, like I've gone to Plato's Closet. I go to Second and Charles, or not Second Street. I'll go to the outlets, go take a look for certain ones. But Facebook Marketplace and Poshmark are the places where I find these project ones, where I'm able to find something on the cheap, see what I can do to fix it up, and then afterwards, either wear them, put them in my personal collection, or what I've done with the 3 of them so far is I've actually sold them, and I don't sell them for any other price. I bought a pair for $30, a pair of Air Jordan 1s, and I sold them for $40, at most $5 that I got for, maybe it was even the same price. But I don't sell them so I can flip them for money. If I'm going to sell them, it's because, well, I'm not going to wear that one anymore.
Okay.
But this one right here, and part of this comes into it, was something that me and my son ended up getting into as far as our collection of shoes. He was always cleaning his shoes, and I was always wondering why he was doing that. And then one night I'm downstairs, I'm watching the TV, and I'm looking at this guy restore a pair of freaking, it was a certain, I can't remember what pair of Jordans they were. And I really started looking at it, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that I can start getting these shoes back? The ones that I used to be in Jordans before I, joined the Army and did anything else. And I enjoyed, being able to do this, but it was also something to bond me with my son, something that we can do together, something that we can talk about, and something we can go, together for it. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, this might actually be a pretty cool thing to start as a hobby, build a collection up, and see what I can do with it. And now I'm thoroughly enjoying cleaning sneakers. I'm enjoying, not flipping them, or, well, I mean, not flipping them, but making them better so that my collection doesn't look like a pair of beaters. It looks like a pair of heaters, Robbie. You're going to hear that one. And, and with cleaning this, with the shoes and doing all that, if we got enough time, I mean, well, it's about 9:40. I don't have to clean them, but for something like this, it'll take me about 5 minutes, 10 minutes at most, and it'll save me $150.
Right. Now,
You know?
but I'm going to go to this. I'm going to put this up now because you sent me some prices of what
Yeah.
you're going for.
Oh yeah.
And so, these prices here are, I mean, some of them, those black ones are $500, right? Are those actually selling for that price? Because hold on, let me back this up a little bit. Because I've sold things online, I've bought things online. Oftentimes, you see, My Little Planes. If I look, I can find some of them for 10, 15, $20. But then you have one guy who thinks it's because it's out of stock or whatever somewhere else that now it's worth $1,000. Well, it's still a $20 airplane. Like, don't try to sell it for $200. You know what I mean?
What you're seeing on that price is the highest somebody paid for it. If you go that website that I was talking about, StockX,
yes,
they will show you the oh, wait a minute. Okay, good. I'm I'm down here.
yeah.
Yeah, thank God you got it off me now.
Yeah.
So when you look at the stuff on that, like StockX will give you a trend of how high something is selling, how low something is selling, the conditions that they're selling in. What you're looking at for the ones in Fight Club, like those right there, that is the absolute brand new, never taken out of the box. What you call them is called DS. Okay. You do not, they're new in box, they're not touched, nobody's ever taken them out, and those do go up in value. But like Jordan 11 low emerald that's up there for $241.
Yeah.
Somebody actually paid $241 for a new one out of the box. When I go on Poshmark, or if I go on, other sites or things like that, and Facebook and things, you'll see ones that are, well, I'll give you, I'll put this one back, and I'll put this one up. Okay.
Okay.
This one right here, brand new out of the box, will sell for $350.
Okay.
If they still have this. Now, this is a 2012. That's why, if it's doing that, it's going to be coming out. But they've had two different editions of this shoe, and both of them have sold for, well, comparable prices of around 200 to 150, or in that range.
Okay.
These are a 2012. Because of the year, these actually go up in value because of how old they are. They're 12 years, 13 years old. And in the condition that we got them, they were pretty decent, but I got them at like $60. And when I looked at them online, the high price of them was about $270. And the normal price that I was looking at, the median price, was around $135.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I'm like, okay, this is the main reason why. So I'm going to find the main reason why these things are not selling for that price. And whatever it is, I'm going to try to fix them.
Right.
So that's how I kind of take a look at it. And a lot of the shoes that I'm buying, they're ones that I would wear. And the only ones I'm really not doing for myself or for my son are like these ones right here that are going to be a gift to my daughter's boyfriend. I'm not doing this to actually make money. I'm doing this just so that I can ensure that I've got something, cool to, something cool to do, and have some shoes that are, turning some heads while I'm walking in New York City, or I'm over in my office.
Well, because I'm going to say, because I feel like I do the same thing with, I mean, I'm not that into shoes. I'm such a fucking old man when it comes to my shoes. Like, most of my shoes are dudes.
I mean,
I
was once, man.
Yeah. But I mean,
hold on.
Can you
mean these?
Yeah, like those. That's what I wear most of the
Look, hey, even around the house, I'm still freaking wearing those, man. I'll wear Hey Dudes around there, because I really don't have a pair of beater Jordans, but yeah, it's a hell of a lot easier just to slip something on.
Right, but I'll do that. I mean, I don't. I guess I haven't bought a lot of used clothing stuff, but I go to like Ross and all those places like that because I like having nice clothes. Like, I'm wearing a North Face hoodie that I got for pretty cheap because I got it from like somewhere. Or I got on like the discount rack at REI or some shit. You know what I mean? I very rarely pay full price for anything. That's just kind of how I am. But I mean, but like you said, like if you can get a really cool pair of shoes for $60 that are normally $500, then you put, a couple hours worth of elbow work into them, then you got something really cool to have and to wear and to show off. And that's
that. And that's actually, what ended up starting this, I didn't really start wearing Jordans again. Actually, I didn't wear Jordans again. My son will tell you this too. First day that I started my new job. First day I started my new job. I wanted to ensure that I started it off right, that I wanted to make sure that whatever I was doing was set to where it was. That I was setting the standard. I didn't want to show up and everybody tell me I was in uniform or I was out of uniform. I wanted to set my own standard.
right.
So let me move this box out of the way. And Robbie, if you're still watching, I took this box off of your dresser. This pair of sneakers was the first ones that I ever got. These are actually ones that my son got, and he ended up not wearing them, so gave them to me for my first day of work. These are Jordan 1 lows. They're called Curry, and the reason why they're in the box right now is because, as you can see, this is suede, but this is the regular cloth material. Okay, it's not like mesh. It's just like Keds. Or not Keds, Vans.
Okay.
Okay. Same thing here too, but what you're also seeing is that this part right here and up here is a color bleed.
Okay.
That's the issue that you have with some of the suede as well as these canvas type right here, is that you'll have this thing is brown. It's supposed to be white. It is so damn difficult to do these things without having the color run.
Right.
So these I've been keeping in here because once I get my steam cleaner back up, those will end up getting clean. But on the first day of work, I wanted to make sure that I set my precedents right. And Robbie hooked me up and got me and gave me these shoes, wore them the first day, wore them the second day, and somebody was bitching because I have HR's approval to wear sneakers into work.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so, but my manager was like, I wear Chuck Taylors. Why are you worried about that? Okay, great. Set the precedence there. I ended up buying just like a couple other pairs throughout the first 2 years, but what ended up really freaking shifting me, other than my son doing this, was I went down to my work headquarters and I was wearing a pair of Air Jordan 11 Comfort. They were black and red. They looked really nice. They matched everything that I had for my outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a message from my manager asking if I was wearing Jordans over at our company's headquarters.
Oh, no.
Some motherfucker took a picture of my shoes, sent it to HR and my regional fucking director, saying that I was not in compliance with the recommended uniform for business as it's supposed, as those shoes don't fit business casual. Let me say this: if it was one or two people, one person I can understand because the pole is so far up her ass that it'll bend in the wind. The other one, if that's the case, then he is a wormy motherfucker, and I will never trust him again.
Right.
That's all I'll say. And I really do think it's the wormy motherfucker. So after that, I decided, you know what? I am now going to piss every motherfucker off at my work. I literally went on a fucking spending spree that's still continuing till this day. This happened in August, and I'm still buying new ones almost
Still
every
buying
fucking week.
Buying the shit out of
I
them.
decided that if I'm going to do it, I needed to buy ones that would go with my work as well as with other ones. So I literally have pairs of Jordans right now. And by the way, I'm not showing these ones because this is going to be on one of our sneaker episodes on the sports bar. We're going to do one. And I'll show off the entire collection, not just the ones I'm working on. But I decided that I was going to find ones that matched every freaking pair and every color shirt and everything I had for work, as well as what I had in the closet. So black and white obviously goes real well with almost everything. Grays go decently well with almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bugs Bunny, well, it's white. It'll be a hell of a lot whiter after I paint it. Those go well with everything. All the sneakers that I have something in there that goes with one of either my work shirts, one of my event shirts, or one of the shirts that I normally wear over in my day-to-day life. I kid you not. I said, fuck it. I am coordinating the shoes to it, but I keep it at a minimum that I am not going to go over 20 shoes, period. I will not. No, brother, let me tell you, when it comes to Jordans and it comes to sneakers, the 20 is fucking rookie numbers.
I was gonna say that sounds like a pretty.
My God, those are fucking rookie numbers.
Because I'm gonna say something here. Like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my hobby here, because you can see it in the back. Like, I've got that row. There's I don't know, probably fucking 40 little planes and tanks on my little thing back here. I have like 60 more in the garage that are. And like unbuilt in the plastic. I was just like, yeah, I want to do that one someday. And I find it on sale, and then I'm like, fuck it, okay, that's like half price. I'm gonna buy it. And then I just keep buying them, and now I have a fucking pile of them. My wife's like, you can't buy more until you build some. I was like, fuck, all right then.
Yeah, it's good to have the limitations on it, because then at one and I will say this, man, I am guilty of this too. There's a lot of people that go all in and I'm gonna get like everything and all of that, and then they get burnt out and they just get rid of their shit, or they don't touch it, and it just becomes a clamor, and somebody's freaking it becomes like a pile in your garage. I would rather utilize something that I can use almost every day.
Oh shit, yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm not, shitting on you or anything like that.
No. I get it. I get it.
But if I was going to, like in your case, I wanted to keep a limit on it, because that limit will keep me from overspending, will keep me also from getting burnt out in doing this. But at the same time, too, well, I guess it will also keep my wife happy. So let's just be honest. That's all we're really fucking doing.
Right.
That's all of our lives are, is just trying to keep our wives happy.
Well,
so
and I'll say this though, like with my wife in particular, like all it's done is I do my stuff and now she does hers. Like my wife crochets quite a bit.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab something real fast. You're still here, but yeah, go ahead. Man. Sorry about that.
No, I'll find something that's not you. Oh, you're okay. I see what you're doing. But my wife does she does crocheting and she like sews stuff and does all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not as good at that, like creating something out of nothing. I kind of had to have what's it, like the instructions. That's what I gotta have, like, pre-made parts and all that stuff. I can't just do it off of nothing. Hold on. I'm building a scene now because I didn't know Phil sent me this stuff. So Phil, I'm getting your stuff set up.
Hey, sorry about that.
You're good. I was just talking about how my wife does like sewing and crocheting and stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I can't do from nothing. I got to have like the pieces to assemble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and it's good that you guys also have opposite hobbies.
Yes.
Okay. I've got a friend of mine whose wife is into crocheting and stitching and sewing, and he's into Legos. I'm talking about like, full Will Ferrell Lego movie type of thing. His entire garage is now fucking Legos. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was marijuana and his freaking Hellcat. Now it's all Legos. the guy, it's great to have them because each of y'all have your own individual thing and you don't infringe upon each other. And that's always that part right there, is not to infringe upon what other people like.
Yeah.
Unless it's destructive or unless it's doing something that's, if you're spending every waking minute, ordering a new model and then just leaving it there, obviously and your kids aren't getting food. Obviously that's a little bit too much for your hobby.
Right.
But moderation and ensuring you've got some limits, it's a good thing to have, man.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think
Oh, sorry.
No, I do think
ahead.
I think it's so good to have a hobby that, especially when like I really like when you've been talking about your stuff in like the chats and stuff for a minute, and I was like, that's really cool because it's not just like you said, mine. I build them, they sit on my shelf. You know what I mean? I might take some pictures of them and put them on. I put all my shit on Instagram because that's, I don't know, I'm nerdy like that, I guess. But I mean, that's basically the end of it. Like I take some pictures of it. Like I have a light box next to my I have like a, I don't know, an assembly area, like a little desk, and I've got like all my paints and my glues and all that stuff. I build it right there, put my decals on it, clear coat it, weather it, whatever I'm going to do. Then I put it in my little light box, take a handful of pictures of it, then I put them on my shelf. Oh. And nobody's ever going to see them again. Maybe my wife. You know what I mean? She'll have to clean them up when I die someday. You know what I mean? But you get to like, hey, I clean up these. I did this work, and now everyone's going to hang out.
You know what? And that's the other thing too. And maybe it's just me, but maybe keeping those limits right there. I really don't want my kids to like, have to go through my shit when I'm dead and be like, what the fuck was Dad leaving?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, what I went back to go grab was I wanted to grab these two in particular because these two are almost done. This is that Columbia 11.
Yep.
The low cut with
hold on a
the
second. I'm gonna
patent
go
leather
back.
right here. This one is really close. There's a lot of cleaning that I think I may need to do some unyellowing on over in this area right here, as well as up here in this area. But if you can see where it kind of just looks like everything is close enough to being blue, that's what I'm trying to get it look as blue as this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that is almost done, and about another. I'm not going to use these for another 2 weeks, so another 2 weeks are really just going to finish this thing off.
Right.
These are the $500 tuxedos.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why they're called the tuxedos is literally these are the ones that came in with the tuxedo sets. They marketed these ones to be used for fucking weddings, man.
Right.
So this has that same blue translucent sole, and it's finally getting close to that original color that's there. What I have done too with these is that I have cleaned these up. I have straightened it out. The patent leather is still cracked right there, as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
but it was far worse than what it was when I put this in 2.5 weeks ago.
Right.
And I'm really trying right now just to kind of get it as smooth as possible as I can, and just ensure that these ones are good. But I'm going to take those out in 2 weeks. These ones might have another 4 weeks inside that, and then they should be looking exactly like that. Definitely a little bit. You can see the difference in the
Yep.
clarity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to show is what the difference in the clarity is. Now, give me one more second because I'm going to show one more just to kind of show that one live of how bad these things can kind of get.
Okay. This is like a before. Oh, to go. Because that's always what I kind of like when I look at these. I wonder how they looked beforehand. Captain Wayne says he tried to do an Apache helicopter and the landing gear was a bitch. Yep. Hey, I will say this. If you're gonna do some stuff with that, like the models, I fucking have like a jeweler's headset. The magnifiers, like it's like a 4-time magnification, and they're fucking awesome. They have a light on them. They're fucking awesome. Those things are great for doing things like landing gear and flaps and like all assembling all that like little shit. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. You're back.
All right. No, you're good. So this is the emeralds, the ones that I was telling you about. Now, take a look at the clarity. Do you even see the Jordan logo?
No, they're crazy.
That Jordan logo is barely able to be seen in there.
Right.
And that's what I am trying to get as much off as possible. But this one may just be too far gone to do it. And what I may have to do is I may have to chemically do this one. So I really don't want to do chemicals, but the ones that you do, what you can use is definitely a hydrogen peroxide base. Now, here's the other thing too about this pair. I tried using a chemical before.
Mm-hmm.
You see how freaking easy that thing runs around there?
Yeah.
I tried doing it on this sneaker and I'm getting grip. There is literally no more grip. It smoothed itself out. So before I do this, I have to sand the shit out of it so I can get it as roughed up before I put the chemicals back on it. But the chemicals will just end up messing this thing up again. And I don't know if this pair will ever be saved, but this was the first pair of Jordans that I wanted to get because I thought these were the Concords, not the Emeralds. And the Concords have that same blue as this down here, but I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with these ones. These might just end up being my knock-around pair of Jordans that I keep for, whatever reason and don't have anything to do. But these two are definitely keepers, will be in my day-to-day rotation.
Nice.
These ones might just be beaters, so I'll be okay.
Then you can replace your Hey Dudes.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that you were like, you can use and do, Phil sent me these while we were talking and I just saw them. Mm-hmm. He makes mead. You see that?
Ooh.
Yeah. He said one of them strawberry. I think the one on the left is strawberry. One on the right is raspberry.
Huh.
And he's making that. And oh God, I should do that. I know it's not particularly hard to make mead. I know it's not super hard to do it. I think you have to have the right like stuff, those bottles you have to like get, and they have like you have to like burp them and shit like that. I'm not sure exactly how to do that, but yeah, that's pretty neat. Cam Wayne says he needs a jig for making flies for fly fishing. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Captain Wayne Baconator, I actually want to give you a program where you might not only want to learn that, but it's actually a great program for fly fishing. Or you told me to hold on?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I just wanted I put the camera back on you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hey, so Wayne, there is a program called Project Healing Waters. I've partnered with them. I've gone on a trip with them, and I will tell you that not only will you get that little metal stand where you're able to make your own flies, they will teach you the proper method of making flies. They will teach you how to, properly use the line, and you'll be fishing pretty good. But it's called Project Healing Waters, open to veterans regardless of whatever they served.
Mm-hmm. That's
definitely.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah,
they're a big thing. There's a lot of
fly.
There's a lot of fly fishing around here, and they're pretty big around here.
Oh, Project Healing Waters is big up there?
Yep.
Oh, good. Good. I'm about to do something with the Asheville chapter here in the next couple of months, and I also do stuff with the Fayetteville chapter as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're good people.
Patrick says, what is good for getting grass stains out of his New Balance? Imagine that steam cleaner, huh?
Oh, well, yeah, the steam cleaner is usually good, but even with grass stains, so grass stains do show up a little bit messed up, and I'll kind of tell you, I'll demonstrate to you off of these ones because I can show you the differences of the leather with how to use this. So if they're mesh, the best way to get rid of that stain is to take a very soft cleaner brush. Okay. These are medium bristle brushes. These two that I use right here, these are medium bristle brushes. My son's got the soft one. If you're going to use that to get rid of grass stains, get some Dawn. Power wash is good. You can use just regular water or detergent. Put the soap here on the mesh and then use the soft bristle brush to get it out of it. If it's mesh, you can also put it in the washing machine and it will come out good. Just make sure if you want to keep it going and keep that straight, you put one of these bad boys. You put a shoe tree inside it. Keeps the shape and it doesn't disform it. If they are leather, depending on whether the leather runs or not, you can also throw them into the laundry machine. To clean them, again, I will use the Dawn. And then once I spray the Dawn on, I can use a lot more water on this type of leather right here, this regular leather. When it comes to this nubuck leather, that's a difference. Now, when you get to that nubuck leather, that'll be you definitely don't want to use the things for it, the daggone a lot of water for it. With this type of canvas right here, you can use regular detergent, regular soap, medium bristle brush will use it pretty well as well. What I would advise though with that is to, especially if they're white, to use, in fact, for the mesh as well as for the canvas, if they're white, to utilize a couple of different things to enhance the cleaning. You'd be surprised how much you can actually get done and enhance your cleaning with just baking soda. That I use with the canvas type of material, and that will help clean out and get rid and try to get all of the stuff out of the canvas itself in conjunction with the soap that you're using. It uses it a lot better and it brightens it up. If you're using mesh and it's white, OxyClean. I kid you not, OxyClean will make that thing look brighter than the frickin' sun. And it works great for it. then, after scrubbing it and brushing it, if you want to throw them into the washing machine, like I said, make sure that you've got a shoe tree on so that maintains the shape. You can throw them in there in a mesh bag. It would actually be preferable so that everything stays inside it. And clean it on cold water. And I only do a quick wash on the ones that are really dirty. And that will end up pulling a lot of the stains out and ensuring that whatever was moved out and scrubbed off is completely gone from there. So it works pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I don't know. I just kind of have like my old dirty run around shoes that I just use for like mowing the grass and shit. I just fucking don't even worry about them.
Oh, hey, and there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Right. But I mean, like sometimes, okay, like I'm going to talk shit about my kid. And I'm talking shit because he's a fucking teenager, right?
Yeah.
He plays soccer. And he still does. He had to have the all white Adidas, like whatever slide on fucking cleats, right?
Yeah.
And they have like, it's part like a plastic on the side, or like on the toe box, and then there's like the whatever fabric sides, okay? And brand new, cost like $130, okay? His very first game, they had like an orange paint on the field, and his whole fucking brand new shoes were orange. Like the next, that first fucking time, he didn't wear them at practice. He just wore them like to this game, and they turned fucking orange.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but here's the deal. And I love my son. I talk shit about him, but his soccer cleats smell so bad by the middle of the season. I usually they don't even come in the house. They just live on the porch. Like, you don't get a fucking coming. And we've tried freezing them. I've tried doing anything to get the fucking smell out of them. They just don't. I don't know. He's a teenage boy. So he just smells bad.
All right. The smell comes out pretty bad. And honest to God, going back to it, another thing that can definitely get rid of that smell. Put it inside there, vacuum it out, dump it out, put it in the laundry. The smell should go. I thought it would come out of here, but like I said, cigarette smell is just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have realized that can go real well for interior are these bad boys.
Oh, the balls?
These Arm & Hammer odor busters. I kid you not. That will be the one to draw out the smell from the inside. Throwing them in there would be perfect. I should have just thrown them in I could have just thrown these into the bag and hopefully gotten rid of that smell. In fact, that's actually what I'll do if these things on Sunday aren't there. I'll end up putting these things in there.
Right.
But that will end up working, and there are ways to pull it out. If they stink that bad, I do have it. Give me a second.
He's got something. He got something to get rid of them teenage smells. There's nothing worse than fucking teenage smells. What's this? What's he got?
This is break in case of emergency. This is called ozone.
Yep, the ozone stuff. Yep.
Oh, this is, even in here, it got rid of the cigarette smell on the inside, but it didn't get rid of the cigarette smell on the outside. That's why I have these in this bag right here so that I can get rid of the smell from the outside. But inside here, it now smells like nothing but fucking ozone.
Yeah.
Now inside these ones right here.
Well, I got one of those ozone generators. So we bought my daughter a car. And I don't know if you've been watching the used car market the last couple of years, but
yeah, I have.
It's really hard to find a decent used car that doesn't cost a fucking arm and a leg. And so we found her.
You better know somebody who's selling something that they don't need anymore.
Well, or the opposite. This is what we did: is we found a Volkswagen Passat, had like 110,000 miles on it, so not so bad. It's a 12, and we found it last spring. And it was like $4,000, $3,500. And I was like, what the shit is wrong with this car? And I was like, well, if they'll knock it down to $3,000, and then I got back on Facebook Marketplace, I had it for $2,500. And I was like, fuck yeah, what is wrong with this car? So we drove out there, and it was about an hour drive to get to where this car was. And it reeked of fucking cigarette smoke. Just like, and I smoked for a lot of years. Like, I think a lot of us have. And I've quit. I've since quit. I quit in 20, so I've been quit now for almost 5 years total. Next month will be 5 years I quit smoking, which I'm happy about. I'm glad I did, and I'm happy that I quit smoking. But I'm a little more tolerant than some, you know what I mean? But I could not put my fucking daughter into that car.
Yeah.
So I drove it home. I drove it. It was an hour and 15 minutes away. I stopped at the first AutoZone that I could. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, whatever was fucking first, and bought a new filter for it. The cabin filter. That helped immensely because I don't think the other one had ever been changed. And it looked like, like in the old bars, how they had those smoke eaters in the
Oh,
then
yeah.
it was like that brown color. Yeah, that's what this fucking air filter was. So I changed that out. And then I got home and we shampooed it. We like the headliner, the deal, the vents, everything. We put dryer sheets and everything. It could not get, I mean, it subsided, but it was not near gone.
Yeah.
And I got one of those. I bought it on eBay or Amazon or something, one of the generators, the ozone generators. And it's a box about half the size of a shoebox. And put that in there. The fucking smell was gone. And like I let it run for an hour. I turned the car on, turned the air conditioner on, turned that thing on in there, let it run for an hour, and the smell was gone. Patrick says be careful with those. They can do some crazy things to rubber seals. He had a scuba dry suit and all the rubber seals got broken down and sticky from exposure to ozone. Yeah, I could see that. And I know that there were some people that were like, hey, be careful, don't use it all the time or whatever. I just use it the one time in there just to get the shit out of, to get it to where my daughter could drive it and not have her eyes water from the fucking smoke, dude. That was, I mean, even when I smoked in my vehicle, I at least rolled the fucking window down. This guy didn't even do that, dude. It was bad. But you know what? Hey, but we got a $10,000 car for $2,000 and I had to spend $35 on a fucking, and some elbow grease. Kind of same thing, same concept as your shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Put a little bit of elbow grease in
exactly.
them. The Shoe Leather Express is a nice whip sometimes.
Yep. And that's exactly what, you know what, there is something that I can, God, I'll show this off. I'll show this on one of the chats. There is a dude that he bought whatever the hell the Rolls Royce SUV is.
Okay, yeah.
Bought it. This was in a flood.
Yeah.
And like he had to replace like different batteries and different electrical functions, but everything else was working as far as like it had 4 miles on the fucking car.
Right.
Or 12 miles on it. It cost him about $2,000 to fix everything, and he ended up getting most of the stuff off of a BMW. But he bought for like $123,000. He bought a $350,000 fucking car.
Right.
I mean, look, we ain't the richest, but it's good if we know how to fix shit up and actually get some of this great stuff.
Yeah,
there truly is.
There is a dude. I saw him on TikTok years ago, and that was his like. He's like, you want nice things, you got to fix it because you're poor. Like fucking, you get good at it. Get good at fixing shit up, and you'll have nice things because you can't afford to just go buy a nice thing. And there's something to that. Like, I like having. I don't think anybody wants shitty things. Like nobody's like, fuck, I wish my car was a little bit shittier. I've never fucking said that. I mean, you know what I mean?
I get you.
But yeah, like I said, just put a little bit of elbow grease and like and that sweat equity sometimes is worth, because so few people nowadays want to do that, or if they want to, have the ability to do it. And that's
that I think might be the bigger portion, is the ability to do it, because I sure as hell didn't have the ability to freaking make a ice box or buy a fucking bunch of sneakers, or get a freaking get all the stuff that I needed for it, which like all the shit that I have to clean the sneakers, it probably costs more than several pairs that I bought.
Right. Yeah, that's that you do run that risk, and I do that with my fucking little planes. I think I've spent. I bet it's probably even. I bet it's even between what I've spent on the models themselves and then on the paint and glue and accessories and stuff.
Yeah,
it's probably about even. But like I said, and part of that's half the fun too, is sitting there when I'm bored and got shit else to do at work or whatever, and look at oh shit, these are on sale. Oh, Airfix having a big sale, or Edward's got a big sale. I can snatch this. I got a here. Let me find me again. Main 2. That'll work. So a perfect example of that. This was a special edition for, it was the Overlord Invasion of Normandy last year was an anniversary, and it's a dual
Yeah.
combo kit from Edward, and Edward is like the top of the line when it comes to models, right? The surface detail on these are amazing. Like they have all like each individual little rivet, like it's got like brake lines on the landing gear, shit like, and like in the cockpit, it's all photo etch, and it's super fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
And this when if I would have bought this when it came out from Edward was like $150. And there's no way I can justify spending $150 on 2 model kits, right? And there is 2 in here. There's 2 and all the stuff and all the mask and everything. And I ended up getting it for $45 on eBay.
No shit.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'll get it for that. You mean because that makes it worth it? You know what I mean? Because there is 2 planes in there, and the photo etch and the mask. Because a photo etch fret for each one, like they do like the seat belts and stuff in photo etch, and like the control panels and shit, and it's pre-painted. And you just got to glue it all together, and it looks fucking amazing. Like when you look at these when they're done, they look like real fucking airplanes. There's people take pictures of them, and they look like real fucking airplanes. Like awesome, I can't and that's why it's still in the I'm not good enough yet to do one of these. I know that. So and I'll never get a chance to probably buy these again. So
well, hell, man, hey, take the chance though, man. Take the absolute chance. Honest to God, man, these things are freaking. These things are $400 fucking dollars.
Yep.
All right. These are size 13s that are going for like $450, I believe, or something around there. That cigarette smoke still did not freaking deter me from trying to take a shot at it. Man.
Right.
And that cigarette smoke fucking stinks. And it's been a week now. I've been trying to get this. But you know what? At the end of this kid's going to have a fucking $400 pair of sneakers that are going to be fucking golden.
Right.
Take the chance at it, man, because and I'm saying that and saying this to everybody. If there's something that you like and you haven't done it yet, man, life's too fucking short to not try it.
Right.
All right. Even if you try it one daggone time, you know what? Try it, and if it's for you, it's great. And if it's not, well, then do it. But don't hesitate on it, Radar. Seriously, man, go ahead and try that one out, dude. If you know that that's the top of the line, don't question yourself of whether or not you're going to be able to do it. Push yourself to do it.
I'm going to do it. There's about 4 of them. I have 4 planes that I'm like in process. Well, I have 1 tank and 3 planes that I'm like in process of doing, like have already started. And I kind of get in this way where I like build 3 or 4 of them together, and then I paint them all together, and then I finish them all. Like, if that makes sense.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
And so once I've got a B-25 that I'm 3/4 of the way done with. I've got another Spitfire. I'm doing the Desert Air Force from World War II.
Oh.
So I got a P-40 Warhawk that's the desert scheme. I've got a Hurricane in desert scheme. I've actually got 2 different BF-109s in desert, and then I've got a A-20 Havoc in desert, and then I've got a Spitfire Mark V with the tropical stuff.
Nice.
So I'm going to do all those like in the right and like have them all kind of like as a set. I thought that would be kind of fun. And then after that, I'm going to do one of the Mustangs. That's like my figure if I can get those done and knocked out and get them to where I want them to be. Because I mean, those are all like $10, $15 kits. You know what I mean? So before I fuck up a $50 kit, I'm going to fuck up some $10 kits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once I get those guys are all kind of in different stages. Well, the A-20 I haven't started yet. It's still on the shelf. And the Hurricane I haven't started yet. It's on the shelf. But the other ones I have at least assembled or in parts of assembly. Mm-hmm. And those guys will be knocked out here probably by the end of the month. And then I'll start on one of the Mustangs. So
yeah.
But
hell yeah, man.
Holy shit, it's 8:30. We gotta get going.
8:30. It's 10:30.
It's 10:30 your time, but like, and I noticed like I keep fucking like I said I got that like nerve pain in my leg, so I gotta right.
Hey Robbie, if you're still watching, give me a text, and if you are, go to fuck to sleep or study or do something. It's my son in college. The one I told him I was going online with all of the Jordans, and yeah, he actually tuned in and watched it. I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might have been the first person to actually watch one of my fucking shows from the family. Oh God, you kidding me? My wife doesn't watch any of our shows.
Every time my wife watches, I like make her mad. So I try not to like. She's probably watching now. She probably was like, "Is this guy done yet?" I just got mad.
Okay, but I mean, look, this radio shit, I can understand it. I got a little obsessive with it too. There's some times where it's like, why are you still sitting down here? Why are you in the coldest, darkest part of the house and keeping all your time in here? That's hey, come on, we're men. That's what we're supposed to do.
Patrick says that every 4 or 5 weeks, Hobby Lobby has their kits 40% off, 50% off. Yeah, I get some of Hobby Lobby's got a lot of cars. I don't do cars. And then they have a lot of Revell kits, and Revell are kind of hit and miss. Because if you get, I don't know, like some of those Revell kits are like 1960s tooling, and they don't fit right. The decals are kind of hit and miss. I'm not going to say I never build Revell kits, but when I do, I usually don't use their decals, and I usually don't. I end up using more putty than I would like. But they're really good. They're really, really, really good for beginners. Those kits at Hobby Lobby are really good for beginners.
Nice.
And they're cheap because you can get like, they had a. Oh, excuse me. They had an A10. I bought their A10. It's an Academy kit.
Yeah.
And I bought it on their 50% off sale. And it was normally like $14.99. I got it for like $7.50. Like, yeah, for $7.50, fuck it, even if it's dog shit. Like, it's cheap. It's fun to put together. You know what I mean? So, but that's something I kind of want to talk about because we'll talk about this and finish, because like you were talking about how, you know, if you scour some of those sites, you can find them pretty cheap, and kind of like a lot of that stuff is not a high cost to really get started in that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and modeling is kind of the same way. You can get one of those kits for $5, $10, even $20. You can get a thing of glue for $3.50 and a pair of snips for $3-4. You know, for less than $30, you can put together one of those little planes, and if you like it, you like it, or a tank, or a car, or you know, whatever. And I think, you know, when you talk about there's in the UK there's a thing called Models for Heroes, and they do they do like donations and stuff, take donations, and I saw there's what's called the IPMS, is International Plastic Modeler Society. And that's kind of like the, I don't know, governing body of model things. Yeah. Anyway, the local chapter here to me, and this out of Ellsworth Air Force Base, they're doing a thing where if you're a veteran or active duty, you can get together with them and they'll teach you how to do it. And people donate, you know, X-Acto knives and paints and stuff like that. Yeah. And I've donated some stuff too, actually, to them. So that way, you know, hey, you're sitting there fucking, if you're a veteran and you go to these little classes they do, and they're doing it through the vet center there in Rapid City. So I don't know if every vet center does that, or if it's every IPMS chapter is doing it or whatever, but they're trying to reach out to veterans, because I mean, I think hobbies, and not necessarily just, I do models, so that's me, but whether it be golf or fishing or fucking name the hobby, make it, you know, fly fishing or whatever. It gives you something. I think a hobby is something that like helps clear your head and get your mind right upon occasion.
Absolutely, man.
And I think, like I said, there's so many different avenues in which to do that. And when you get involved in a hobby, whether it be plastic models, or whether it be fly fishing, or whether it be brewing your own beer, or you know, fucking woodworking, or remodeling your home, or whatever it is, when you get involved with the groups of people that do that, you can learn so much more on, you know, your technique to do stuff and how to do it right. And I think once you see some success in those kind of things, it makes you want to to drive on and do better. It's IPMS.
IPMS. I'm gonna take a look at them and see if there's something here in Fort Bragg area, so that we can possibly do something.
Shredding on guitar. Fuck yeah, playing guitar or music. I think that's actually, I don't see what I do as an art. I don't. But I think that like painting and making music and all that shit, like when you can like be creative with your hobby, that's even better. Because then you can like really kind of express yourself and get emotions and all that. I think that's what we as veterans struggle with a lot, is how to channel our emotions. Right? You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, unbelievably do I know what you mean.
And
yes.
so I think that's why we struggle, because we're big tough guys. We got to put everything away. Well, sometimes you got to let it out because you can only take so much. And I think that, getting with, organizations that, because when you look at something, I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm going to stick with IPMS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, plastic models were always kind of a thing for old people and kids, right? Well, some of those old people are dying out, and kids isn't into those kind of things anymore because they have video games and they have, other things that keep them from, doing some of these, honestly, activities, whether it be a sports activities or whether it be a hobby activity, And so, like, it's good to get those places, those groups are trying to find new blood and bring people in, and the last thing they want to do is ostracize people.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's good to, whether it's a music group or whether it's, you name it, like they want to increase their membership and they want to help other people kind of find the same stuff that they have, I guess. So,
you know what it sounds an awful lot like? The American Legion and VFW.
Yep. I was going to say AA, but yeah, that too.
No, AA wants less people there. Let's be quite honest.
That's true. But yeah, the Legion and the VFW I think are good. I'm a life member of the VFW. And I think that, I think
they provide a good service. It's just
they do.
Certain places, the people that are there. Yeah.
I think it's a lot like the VA. I think that your experience may vary when it comes to things like the VFW and the Legion. And this is the wonderful part about the VFW and the Legion, though, is there's enough of them around. If the one in your particular town or the one on your block isn't that great, go down the street fucking 5 miles and find the next VFW. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, we're lucky here at Fort Bragg that we've got a couple Legions and a couple VFWs. One of them, the funny thing is we got one of them that's like right across the street from each other, literally.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So it's good to have that. I also know that there's a lot of places that don't have anything else but a Legion Hall or a VFW post, and the resources are not available out there for,
Now,
I'm saying this to you because you live in fucking South Dakota where there literally is nobody, but there's places in North Carolina that have nobody and that's all they got.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I'm a life member at 5969, which is in Deadwood. Okay, so now I live in Spearfish, which is about a 15-minute drive from Deadwood. Okay. Here in Spearfish, we have a VFW and a Legion chapter. Okay. In Sturgis, which is about another 15-minute drive, like say a triangle, it's 15 minutes from Deadwood, 15 minutes from Spearfish. There's another Legion and VFW. In Deadwood, there's just a VFW, but there's a Legion Hall and Lead, and they're like less than 2 miles apart. So you know what I mean? So within a 15-minute drive of me, I can be in 3 different Legion Halls or VFW groups.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And so, actually, Belle Fourche has a Legion too, which is another 10-minute drive. So I mean, they're around. You got to kind of look for them. The ones here aren't as active. Like the in Spearfish in particular, the VFW is open on Friday nights for bingo, and then like Saturdays and Sundays for just to be open. You go in there and drink beers.
Hall rental and
and
beer. Yeah.
Yep.
And,
but the one in
unfortunately, I hate to say it, that's the kind of the Legion Hall that I'm at, because it's in the middle of nowhere in New Jersey. It is just open up for beer and freaking hall rentals.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like the one in Deadwood there's a little casino in there. They have pool games. They have some slot machines, and they're open every day, 7 days a week. And that's kind of where a lot of the people go to hang out. But
yeah,
I mean, it's still not a, I don't know. I like the one in Deadwood. But there is kind of like, I don't know, some of those old crotchety Vietnam vets who are just like, what do you know? You know what I mean? And that's to be expected.
Yeah. What do I know about combat, motherfucker? Don't you tell? I've spent more combat than you did.
Right. And I think
that's the good thing about having a 20-year fucking war and not a draft, is that I wasn't over it. I had to go multiple fucking times.
We didn't get 1 year tour and be done. But I mean, I don't know. I try not to discount or do anything to anybody's service. Like that's your service. You earned it. You did it. And you went and fought just as hard. But I mean, sometimes you get in those little pissing matches at the VFW, which sometimes it's fun.
like here's one that I'm going to give, and I'm going to give a shit. I don't give a crap what people are saying about this. I give a shit ton of respect for everybody that went in after we withdrew and then went in there to evacuate.
Yeah.
And if that was the extent of their deployment, was that evacuation, I don't give a fuck how long that was. That was a hell of a lot better than I did in my 6 fucking deployments.
Mm-hmm.
At least I know that they made some type of fucking difference.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
After 6 fucking deployments, what fucking difference did any of us fucking make?
Right. Exactly. Well, Captain Wayne said there's a Legion about 20 miles away, but they really don't do anything in that town. It's pretty much a dead town. Everyone is like 11 kabillion years old and just dropped Jesus off at high school or something. Yeah. And that's tough when it's, you know what I mean? Cause I think that, and I hope that as our generation ages, they do kind of start turning to things like the VFW and the Legion. Cause they do in theory good things for us as veterans. And I don't want either one of those, or DAV or anyone. I don't want any group that's their whole purpose is to help veterans. I don't want to see any of them go away. I'm not,
Let me also mention this regarding DAV.
Mm-hmm.
DAV is the #1 advocate for VA claims out of any VSO in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop.
Yep.
DAV trains the American Legion, other national service officers, and including us.
Mm-hmm.
Let me not mention us, of who us is, but all of us, or if you are a national service officer, you will get trained by DAV personnel.
Yep.
They are the ones who are the ones in charge of doing all of that, and they play an absolute vital role. I am a lifetime member of DAV.
Mm-hmm.
I joined them just so I can join them. Honest to God, I didn't join them for any other reason. I just joined them just to join them. And I'm a lifetime member. I got one for free from someplace in Florida that apparently I was assigned to, even though I'm in fucking Fort Bragg. So, yeah, don't ask how the hell that happened.
But and the DAV here in Rapid is pretty active.
When that
go ahead.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the one here is pretty active, and I just there's not one close to me, so I don't get into them as much.
I get it,
but I know that they're. I know that
is the same thing too. That's another one that has that, I believe.
Right, and there's the Marine Corps League. There's a lot of veterans organizations places that just want to do right for veterans.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of an important thing for us to give back a little bit to ensure that the next generation of veterans, because I don't know, I know that you probably know a little bit more of the insides of this, but it sure kind of feels in the last couple of weeks that like, we don't know if our benefits are under attack or not. And it sure kind of seems to me the way I've sure kind of felt like, well, if they're trying to cut fucking, Social Security and all, and maybe that's just fucking hoopla. I sure hope it's not a thing, but you know, I really don't. I'm not fucking, you know, screaming from the rafters yet, but I don't know.
I would say this. If anything were to happen, we would be the last. Okay.
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Like, there would. You can cut off the illegal immigrants.
Right.
And people will be okay.
Right.
You can cut off, and it depends on whichever side, okay? You can cut off anti-Semites, and people will be okay. You can cut, and some people will be pissed. You come on, you can fucking do stuff for gays, you can cut shit down for transgenders, and people are going to be happy, mad, whatever, okay, or indifferent. In my honest opinion, you fuck with our fucking military. This is the U.S. military we're talking about.
Right.
Both sides of the fucking aisle are going to be pissed. Republicans and Democrats will be pissed. You fuck with the military and the veterans. And I'm going to say this. If the frickin' Republicans want to keep the stronghold on the veteran fucking, frickin' vote, well, you better not fuck with us, especially with our fucking money. All right? We don't give a flying fuck about 3/4 of the other bullshit that everybody else is doing.
Right.
But you fuck with us and fuck with our money. Yeah. You're going to have a fucking insurrection. We might be old, but we still know how to shoot motherfuckers.
Right.
All right.
Well, and
our knees might not be working as functionally as possible, but they will be full up your freaking bureaucratic ass if they actually fucking do something. Pete Hegseth would not freaking last 24 hours if that ever happened. And if you want to talk about, dysfunction and people that would take something crazy, I'm going to say this. This is going to sound real bad. You do something against gays, they're not going to go to fucking the extreme lengths.
Right.
You do something against, illegal aliens, they're not going to march up and freaking rise against the government.
Right.
They may protest. You do something against fucking military and you literally train these motherfuckers to kill the enemy and you want to become public enemy number one? Yeah, you're going to have some fucking wackos.
Right.
Some of the ones that we can't reach because they don't want to be reached. The ones that, they've been at the train station, but the fucking train line hasn't run for 25 years, You're going to have a couple of us that are going to be very upset about this. People will not come out of the woodwork. People will come out of their fucking one-bedroom shack in the middle of the Ozark Mountains to go ahead and hunt you down. Okay, the one guy that is so seriously deep about the fucking government trying to surveil him. That one guy will even come out of his fucking hole to try to do something. All right. That's exactly what will happen. So if that does happen, well,
see, and I don't, like I said, I'm not banking on it. It just always worries me when they start fucking tooting that horn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even like the idea of it being thrown around, let alone being a serious thing.
It's getting thrown around because Doge is taking looks at all of these things, and I am actually a hell of a lot. Its tactics suck, but government efficiency definitely needs to be fucking done. I mean, I don't know if freaking.
See, and here's I don't disagree with that. Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all. But to me, like, God, I'm gonna sound like a fucking left-sided fucking whatever. But
don't worry about it.
Okay, first off, if we want to bring in government efficiency, they need to bring in fucking accountants, not little kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Bring in accountants, bring in forensic accountants who can go through that shit and actually fucking make it work. I understand that. And then also, you can't say something is fraud, waste, and abuse just because you don't agree with it, right? I don't think that. I think that sometimes we do dumb shit with our money, okay?
Yes.
But when one of the arguments was, well, it was $43,000. It was a $43,000 grant for like a transgender play. Okay, well, just because I'm not transgender doesn't mean that I don't think they should be able to put on a play, and it's 43 grand. If that's the fucking cost that we're spending, right? Like we just blew 10 grand or 10 million for fucking Trump to go the half of the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I think that was waste and abuse? No, because I understand, and I think he should. I think the money that was spent for that, for his security detail and for the cost of Air Force One, I think he should have that. He's a president. But you can't be mad that somebody spent $43,000 on a to get a troop of transgenders to fucking have a play, and not be mad that someone spent 10 million to go watch half a football game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And
like
for all the
there's a lot of well, I don't like this, so that's fraud. No, it's not fraud. You just don't like the way that money was spent, which is understandable. But we got it, and I think
it's a lot more relatable.
Yep. Well, and you look at things like, okay, like the money going to Ukraine. Most of the money isn't money; it's equipment, and we got to put a dollar figure on that to replace the equipment. And then what happens is we send them old fucking beat up bullshit that we don't want anymore, and then we get new stuff. Right? So they're wasting all that money in Ukraine. Are we wasting money in Ukraine? Because we've killed a lot of fucking Russians and not cost a drop of American blood. Yep. Like, so think about, so I mean, like, that's what I mean when people are like, oh, we're wasting all this money. We are, but we're not. Like, do I think that, the government's still spending $43,000 on fucking toilet seats for fucking aircraft carriers? Probably. Yes, you know what I mean? So yeah, fine. Like I said, but a little kid isn't gonna. Like, a little kid is gonna go off, what fucking boss man says, and not actually. I don't know. Like Captain Wayne says, he's an independent, same blood, same mud. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that.
So this is the other thing too that maybe I think I want to thank my military service for.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I come into this, I start looking to see where the little gig lines and the strings and all that other shit are.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that have been relaxing me is just looking at these freaking strings and just coming around and snipping them so that they're off the shoes.
Yep.
It's kind of like going through my freaking uniform right before an inspection. I'm just finding these loose strings, cutting them off. And, that might be like a little bonsai tree.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm just shaping them off, it's just making this thing look a little bit neater and a little bit better. So it's kind of fun doing that.
It gets a little bit better every time, right?
Yeah. I didn't even realize I had strings in this one. I haven't seen this one in a couple weeks. So I'm going to get rid of that string right there. And I didn't realize that the hairs are still on this one. Yeah.
Oh, well, I need to get up. We're gonna have to wrap this up.
I've had to piss.
Asleep.
I've had to piss for the past hour and a half. The reason why I'm standing is because I can't sit back down. If I sit back down and stand back up, I am going to piss myself. I have come to that age where I'm standing up and I have to fucking piss because fucking gravity goes down on my bladder, man.
Well, that's wrap
Fuck,
it.
I hate getting old.
That's wrap it up then. Oh shit, Eddie just showed up. What's the rule of the chat? There is no rule, dude. You're supposed to say whatever the fuck you want. Captain Wayne says Toys R Us drones and a beggar and AIDS destroyed a Russian military. That's some shit, right?
Yes.
Fuck
yes,
yeah,
very
dude.
True. Especially the fucking Navy. Oh yeah.
God, yeah. They got fucked up. And the worst part is we have no plan to fucking just stop that.
No. We have no plan. Our own Navy doesn't have a plan.
Now, I will say this, though, and like I said, people give a lot of shit to fucking this war in Ukraine, but you know what? We've learned so many fucking lessons just by watching other people.
Yeah.
Like, and seeing how, honestly, kind of, and I feel kind of shitty. And, okay, we gave them old shitty M1 tanks. Like, they weren't even, like, halfway. They're like, those were Gulf War tanks. Yeah. And granted, they were the best ones the Marines had, but we won't talk about that. But I mean, like, and they didn't perform the best in that environment. And we can see that, and we can, in our next round of vehicles, we can improve them. We can make them better, and we can look at things that actually have performed well and, use that stuff to its full potential. And I think that's this war in Ukraine is actually, we've benefited more than probably anyone else in the world.
I have actually learned more about the psyche and the tactics used by the freaking North Korean army than I have any time that I was in the freaking military.
Mm-hmm.
I learned more about what the North Korean army trains up and what they're actually trained for just by those ones that are over in the Ukraine now and end up getting captured, or watching terabytes full of fucking porn and jacking off for the supreme leader over there in Russia.
Right.
That's another part of it, man.
Ooh, Eddie got a good question.
We are learning a lot.
When are we going to see cartels getting blown up on video? I'm surprised that actually isn't happening already. I've got 2 ex-wives who are dead from fentanyl. But I don't think we should fucking invade Mexico to fucking blow up drug cartels.
No.
But fucking give the Mexican army drones, Toys R Us drones and grenades. Let them fucking go to town on it. I don't give a shit. If they want to handle their own shit, I'm not going to tell them not to. I think the drug cartels are out of control, and but I don't think that's our problem to handle. You know what? If we want to beat the drug cartels, legalize drugs. We have, who won the war on drugs? Drugs did. Drugs won the war on drugs. That's who won the war on drugs.
Yep.
That's legalized drugs, and then we won't have fucking cartels to fight. Period. But that's a different fucking story for a different day.
Yeah.
You know what's the story for today? I'm going to pee my pants, and so is Coach. So we are gonna, and my leg. I probably can't even walk up the fucking stairs, but we're gonna deal with that in a little time.
Well,
North Korea is so stupid they got wrecked by a handful of missiles, and don't forget the porn. Don't forget the porn. They got blown up. They got ruined by fucking a Maxim magazine. It wasn't even good porn. It was softcore.
Oh God.
I don't know, dude. They have the internet. I'm sure it was probably the best of the best. I don't fucking know. I'm just talking shit now.
Well, I mean, it's also Russian internet where they're either 10s or 2s. So.
That's true. That's so very true. And some of them are 10 years old. That's fucking Russian.
Oh,
Russian
dear God.
porn is fucking ridiculous, dude. Some of that shit, and I don't even fucking know how, actually, what's the worst about it is Instagram. The Instagram reels are horrible about some of that shit popping up.
Dude,
what is this, dude?
That's why I'm not on Instagram. And I will say this: for the time period that TikTok was doing those giveaways, I went on TikTok and I saw more fucking women, going live, talking, and then their OnlyFans is always on the page. Every fucking girl that is on TikTok or Instagram now has a fucking OnlyFans page.
I should get an OnlyFans page for My Little Planes. That's what we should do.
Apparently people do that, so
I'm gonna do like a
other than showing their buttholes to everybody.
Why don't we do the opposite? I'm gonna do like an opposite OnlyFans where I'm gonna send everyone naked pictures and you gotta pay me money to stop. That's the way I'm gonna do it.
All right, so
that's wrap shit. I don't know.
We're saying goodbye.
Let me look.
Bye, everybody.
Let me look and see. Are you gonna bounce? If you want to, in your fucking.
Nobody's ever gonna fucking know who Coach is.
Oh, someday we're gonna have a big going out party. I'm trying to see if there's any. Do you know if there's any guests coming up? I think there's some. Google Drive.
Oh, I know CQ said that he kind of canceled all of his for the rest of the month due to the wildfires and all that, and and then I don't know about the. I don't know what he's got up here, but give me a second. I'm going to take a look at because I did see somebody on the.
I just pulled it up. I just pulled it up.
Oh, you got the calendar on?
Let's see. What is today's date? Today's the
13th.
All right. So
today's the 12th.
The 12th.
No, today is the 12th. Yeah.
So tomorrow there is Aaron Heft on Sergeant's Time. He will discuss the Ram's Head Badge and Mountain Warfare School. He's a historian that specifically works on tracking that stuff. So he will be tomorrow on Sergeant's Time.
Nice.
So talking about that. So you have been listening to him, Coach, and me, Radar, right here on Pop Culture Warrior. Jesus Christ!
Holy shit! Did you really?
How many years did I do that as my fucking outro?
Oh, sorry about it.
Sorry about it. The smoke pit. It's on a big fucking deal. My background is the smoke pit badge. Anyway, so you've been listening to him, Coach, and me, Radar, right here at the smoke pit. Tomorrow you will have Sergeant's Time with Ice and Spanky, and then let's see, Friday and Saturday of Dawn's a Days of no Spanky activity. We're gonna spend.
No, we do have FTX.
Oh, yeah,
co-ops.
Oh yeah, on Friday. Are they doing that on Friday night? Saturday.
Yeah, they're doing CQ's definitely doing FTX Friday, and then Saturday. Nemo should be streaming.
Oh yeah, I didn't know if they did that because they're doing that every other weekend, right?
I don't know. It depends on their schedules. If CQ's got a Comic-Con or
right,
King's got King stuff or whatever. I honestly don't know.
Right. But tomorrow's Ice and Spanky, and then we'll do the different shows Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, Coach and the actual King Smith will be doing the sports bar, and then Monday is the Monday edition, aptly named because it's every Monday and it's an edition. And then Tuesday is Pop Culture Warrior with CQ, not me, and then back to next Wednesday with me, and I think TZ will be back with me next Wednesday. Right,
I haven't seen TZ in a bit.
Yeah, she's been.
TZ, hope you're feeling good.
Yep.
Or hope you feel better, whatever the hell I meant.
Yep. And CQ, Cat White CQ is better. He was kind of sick. So, but yeah, we should be back up and running. Should be hitting on all 8 now that we're kind of back and winter's over and are winding down hopefully and springtime's coming. So, but hey, I appreciate you guys being here. It's been a long show. This is the longest show I've done since my surgery. So I appreciate everyone being here and
Jesus Christ, we're out 3 hours. Holy shit.
Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes we've been on. So, but yeah, hey, thanks everybody for being here. And I'm going to let you guys go. We'll have a little Turnpike Troubadours taking us out. So thank you guys for being here. And we'll make this hobby night probably maybe like every other month. We'll do another update, kind of bring in some different hobbies. So if you're working on some shit, like send me some pictures and we'll get it fucking loaded up. So,
you know what? I'll even bring in actually no before. Oh no, I won't have them by Sunday. Actually, I might have them by Sunday, but I don't know if I'll be on camera. The next one we'll do, I'll show you guys the Jordans that King just bought me for winning the WTF Nation fantasy football pool. Let me tell you, they are the fuggliest freaking color. But as soon as I get them clean, they match one particular shirt, and this one particular shirt will fucking piss off my director so bad, but I have to fucking do it. I have to buy these freaking Jordans that I'm buying are fugly, but they match the only you got it. I'll show them to you guys next time.
I'm excited. So, all right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out tonight. I sure appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, buddy.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. And thanks for everyone in the chats. It's been great, and I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. And I will see everybody next week. Shots.
Peace.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.